And we are live here, Risen Esports. I'm, as usual, your boy Hypertension, here with...
Tame, how you doing, guys?
I don't know about how they're doing, but I'm doing awesome. And how are you, Tamed?
I'm doing good. I'm looking forward to casting with the boss man for the first time tonight. We've got an exciting Champions League match coming up.
Oh yeah, I forgot, I got promoted. Awesome. Alright, so yeah, we do have an awesome Champions League game coming up. We have the fantastic game that is going to be KMB versus SLN. This is like, there's some playoff implications on the line here, so there's stuff going on. I just realized I forgot to post this in the official streams and add everyone, so no one is probably here yet. It's been a lot going on.
It's alright, we can fix the karaoke machine in the meantime.
Yeah, I guess. Alright, so between these two teams, we do have two teams that are vying for those last playoff positions. They are trying to do that, so... Sorry, just posted that. So now we will get people starting to come into the game. We got this here. Let me figure out the records real quick. Sorry, guys, this was a little bit last minute. Spent 20 minutes trying to find half an hour trying to find a co-caster before Tamed ended up showing up. So hey, now we're here. We're good. So tell us, what do you think the meta has been changed?
With 8.4, I think that it really changed the mid-meta. Honestly, with all the new AP items, I feel like that it opened up a lot of new champions that can actually get back into the competitive scene. You know, like Xerath is coming back. His play rate in Plat Plus went from 1% up to 5%.
Hell yeah, Xerath is the king.
Are you a fan?
I'm a one-trick.
Oh, okay.
I am a follower of the cult of the Zappy Boy.
And I mean, I don't know if you watched yesterday, but in one of the LCS games, Vel'Koz was actually taken in the LCS.
I suck with Vel'Koz.
Vel'Koz is one of my favorites. I just love threading the needle through minions with his Q. He's so fun. You know, the Lifeform Disintegration Ray just destroys teams.
Yeah, it really does. Alright. Give me 1 second. Alright, and we are now transitioning into the draft as these teams start to queue up here. Once again, we have the 5-4 Karaoke Machine Broke versus the 4-5 Sunderland Nibblers. This is a game with playoff implications on the line here. So we do see that first ban is a Braum and followed up by a Lulu. What do you think of these bans here?
Really, Braum, typical, very meta ban. Lulu, I'm a little surprised. I wonder if, maybe KMB has a really good Lulu player on their team.
I do know that Boo Busters did draw a Lulu ban against D-Rose a few weeks ago when I casted them. So that ban might be a typical ban against Boo Busters.
So until you get into like the true top LCS, sometimes those comfort picks are worth banning out.
Well, certainly, we do see Xayah and Skarner coming off the board. Skarner seeing a sort of a breath of fresh air in the jungle meta, that apart from the traditional Zac, Sejuani, Jarvan, Gragas, like those kind of things. We haven't seen Skarner in over 2 years.
I really feel like the fall of Malzahar is leading into the rise of Skarner. Personally, I think, that suppression ult is very similar. Malzahar's been nerfed 3 times now in 4 patches.
Aww.
It just kind of makes sense to have that clutch lockdown. It's a point-and-click lockdown. Blow somebody up, blow up the ADC, super high priority.
Speaking of jungle metas, we do see Sejuani and Zac being the first. I say Zac being the first pick off the board, and Sejuani and Tristana being the last 2 bans. What do you think about this first pick lock-in Zac?
I mean, Zac is so multi-purpose. He can be tanky. His damage ratios are pretty good even when he is tanky. His ganks are, I would argue, the best in the game. Some of the most unpredictable ganks in the game. He can take a lot of the paths that champions like Talon can take. Hopping over walls, just surprising teams. And you can never really be prepared for him. And it's hard to keep vision on him, too.
However, there is a good counter in that Thresh at the support role. Thresh's Flay being one of the most well-known and most utilized counters to the Elastic Slingshot there, and Sever with the Spell Shield can stop a little bit of that engage. So what do you think of that bot lane pairing?
With them just picking up Caitlyn too. Caitlyn and Sivir, they're not usually that meta, but we are going to see the Xayah and the Tristana banned out. That's not what I would have expected, but Sivir with the protection of the Thresh is an excellent pusher. So
they have actually
I like SLN's picks.
They have actually seen a sort of revitalization in Europe, especially with, I know, Fnatic favoring the Sivir pick, and I believe the side of G2 and Misfits favoring that Caitlyn. So this isn't like a fringy Europe thing. This is like top tier European teams taking these champions. Speaking of top tier, Gnar.
I don't think Gnar can ever be out of the meta. His kit is so versatile. He's always going to be useful. You could make Gnar do almost no damage, and he would still be picked.
Like, that's the thing. Like, I think that's part of it with all of Riot, Gypsy, or now Riot's August's champions is they're all going to be moderately useful to some degree. They'll never be bad. And that's what I love about Gnar. Like, he's never hardly ever broken, but speaking of champions that have been bad as of late,
bad.
Malphite.
They just opened top. They picked nothing for top. That's interesting. They literally did not even lock in a champion for top. As we all know, he does nothing.
I love it when people crap on her shit. Shin, sorry. I really don't like that guy either, so I can fully support crapping on a player who's overrated and does nothing but complain. And it appears that KMB missed a ban. That ban is Kazakhs. The ban is Kazakhs.
Yeah, he was hovered before it timed out.
Yeah, I would say sometimes ProDrive doesn't have the most reliable lock-in system like the client does. So, but again, it does prevent the use of placeholder picks and things like that, and everybody can pick what they want. We do see a bunch of jungle bans going off the board overall for the side of KMB. What do you think about that? Kane, Kazakhs, and Sejuani.
They took out. They have Zac. They banned out the Sejuani. That's crazy. Skarner's already banned. It looks like they are going to get the Jarvan, which was really the last meta jungler available. It looked like they were hovering J4 and considering banning him. But, yeah, it's not a surprising pick. There's really, you're leaving J4 and Jax open at this point. There's nothing really else they could have taken. So if J4 isn't a comfort pick for him, that actually could have thrown off their game. And I like the strategy so far, aggressively targeting one of their members.
Yeah, and I will have to say, I just realized I'm happy that there are no Scion memes on me this game. No Scion things. My name is Hypertension, not Hyperten Scion. Dang it. All right, and we do see a Janna locked in. I don't know. I don't know how that really... Because if you think about it, Jarvan and Malphite both have unstoppable ultimates. So
that's true.
What is Janna really going to do once they're already on top of your team?
And they are a little squishy there too with the Corki. I assume they're relying on that Gnar to really go in with that initiation and hopefully get focused.
Well,
Zac Corki does have the escape, but yeah, Zac initiates the fights, but who's going to protect them? I feel like that's going to be Gnar's job, is to really, peel with, like you mentioned, Janna won't really be able to peel. And the Kassadin, nice.
I love it.
Surprise lock in there.
I wish I would have seen a Xerath, but I always love watching a Kassa win go to work. Kassadin, one of those really good champions. Love it.
So the thing about Kassadin too is, across all elos, if you check Champ GG, before 8.2, I believe it was, his pick rate, hovered between 4 and 5%. It was respectable, but that minion change where his Silence Orb stopped the minions from attacking other minions and focused on him, that actually knocked him down to a sub 1% pick rate. So I'm not sure if it really hit him that hard or if it's just an exaggeration because, a lot of League's meta is very knee-jerky. So I'll be interested to see how that Kassadin performs in this game.
Yeah, it will be interesting to see how that Kassadin does. So this is the first mid lane meta that we've seen in a while without the, let's just say, annoyance that is Zoe. With her now having the worst pick rate of any champion over the past, I want to say, about year and a half. It's been since Talia's release, anyone has gotten as low as 41.8% win rate.
Yeah, the last time that anyone was actually sub 40 was actually Release Syndra,
No,
who
no,
sat.
no. She was sub 30.
Yeah, I was gonna say she sat at a whopping 26% for almost a month.
Talia on release, I believe, had around a 39% win rate. I could be wrong there, but I believe Talia was the lowest in since that. Tom Kench and Bard did give them runs for their money though, so I believe that Tom Kench and Bard definitely hit that sub 40 number.
I don't even want to hear the name Bard. I don't want to hear Bard. I don't want to see Bard. I don't
Why?
want him to play games. I don't want him to exist.
Brad is dad.
I am 0 and 11 in ranked with Bard,
Well, that's just
and
your fault. That's
not
not
me
Bard.
playing him on my team. I mean, I just feel like nobody knows how to use his ult in solo queue. There's no communication. People ignore the chimes. I am salty Bard.
All right. Well, hey, let's get back to this game. And I just forgot that the screen is tied to my freaking. Never mind. All right. So with these compositions, what do you see these two teams trying to do? Let's start with the side of Karaoke Machine Broke. What do you see?
You know, KMB, it's difficult for me to actually analyze their team because you mentioned the Janna being picked in after they already had like an unstoppable ultimate.
Two of them.
So yeah, they're gonna have to focus, on I would say quick initiations. I wouldn't even be surprised to see, Janna flash in aggressively and blow people backwards towards that Zac, towards that Gnar, with Corki and Caitlyn being an excellent backline. So that's always something that they could do, not necessarily disengage, but engage with Janna.
Another thing I'd like to point out is the tower taking potential of the side of KMB is absolutely ridiculous.
You're absolutely right, but again, with Sivir on the other team, you can never underestimate that. Sivir basically is a team when it comes to taking towers. Her push is obscene.
I'm a Fnatic fan. I know how good Sivir is. EU better than NA. All right, now moving over to the side of the Sunderland Nibblers. What do you think about their whole composition? This sort of all-in, all-forward composition.
I was going to say initiation. Jarvan dropping down the fight me bro arena. Malphite with the unstoppable force crashing in. Thresh wrapping everybody up while Sivir just bounces blades around them. I feel like their team comp, though, heavily hitches on the Malphite and Jarvan. If Jarvan doesn't land a good ult, if Malphite whiffs or only hits one person, I mean, Sivir is not a good duelist, and her escape potential is very limited outside her ult. So I feel like that puts a lot of pressure on J4 and Malphite to succeed here.
Yeah, I feel like just if it gets to those late game team fights, I don't know if Karaoke Machine is going to be able to stop this rampage composition that the side of Slumberland Nibblers has built up. Jesus Christ, the stutter.
You mentioned rampage composition. I don't see Master Yi.
No, rampage as I'm sorry, Stampede is the word I was looking for, not rampage.
I do not see a Yasuo first pick and 17 bans of Yasuo.
Believe it or not, as someone who's coached a rampage level league before, nobody does that. I just rendered my co-caster silent. No, but in all seriousness, though, I meant to say Stampede composition, where it's like you're just trying to run it down the enemy's throat 24/7. And I don't know that they're going to be able to stop that once it comes to late game.
We should have Tyler One come in and do some analysis to see if they have the potential and the dreams to actually run it down mid and succeed.
Oh, Tyler.
Casting with a spicy boy tonight, my friend.
I can definitely take the spicy boy, and I can just as spicy back. You could just ask my girlfriend how my cooking is.
Are we going to Taco Bell? We getting the 4-alarm sauce, bro?
Ugh, why would I get that garbage when I can cook something that's actually spicy?
Dang.
And that's quality.
The shade is there. We got about 2 minutes till this game gets started, and I'm going to ask you, who are you calling first blood here?
First blood. I'm going to go with Waba in the mid lane just because he's a FaZe fan. I'm going with the player formerly known as Karaoke Machine Broke, now known as Waba1, on that Corki in the mid lane. purely because he's a FaZe fan. Also, that's FaZe, but with a 4 because they just lost to Liquid. Just that, that subtle spicy flame there.
I'm gonna go a little different on my itinerary here. I'm gonna say AMT is going to pick Boo Busters in bottom lane. Clutch knockup. It's gonna happen. Janna Squishy with the tornado. Bold prediction.
Followed up with a hook, and then Silver's gonna get the kill.
No, I think J4 is gonna get the last. His spear is so chunky. I think it's the most satisfying auto attack and kill attack confirmation in the game. There's no sound quite like J4.
I got one for you. If it is bottom lane, I'm wagering, not like making any actual wager, but this is just like a private one. I'm guessing that it will be Kankin's Ignite that gets the final tick if it is bot lane first blood for the side of SLN.
Bold prediction.
Who do you think is going to win this game? Let's go with that. The 5 and 4 KMB, 4 and 5 SLN. Who's going to win and have some more momentum going into the last week?
I'm going to go ahead and call SLN here. Winning game 1, not necessarily the whole set.
Yeah.
I like their... And as long as they can land those ultimates, I like it better.
Most certainly, most certainly. I am also going to call SLN's composition. I feel like unless they sort of get something rolling, does KMB before that mid-game, you really can't expect them to keep up this... I'm trying to think of how to say it. You can't really expect them to keep it up if they don't win in the mid-game. They've got a Caitlyn, they've got a Gnar, they've got a Corki, they've got a Zac, and a Janna. They have very good early mid-game power as compared to SLN, and I think if they don't utilize that, then they will lose.
One thing I think is interesting is that Alistar actually got through the bans and wasn't picked in place of the Janna. But then again, I mentioned earlier, comfort picks sometimes roll king. Person might be very, very good at Janna and not play Alistar. But I actually would have liked to see Alistar on their team, personally.
Yeah, I would have preferred to see Alistar, also because I think Janna is a boring champion, second only to Soraka. Alistar being one of my favorite supports after Rakan. And here's one of my favorite parts of the game, the skin game. Oh,
Ice Toboggan Corki is the worst skin and the worst splash art in this game, and it is almost $20.
You obviously forgot Pugmaw.
Pugmaw is an annoying meme. I'll give it that. I'm not a fan of the
disgusting excuse for a skin, but SLN does have the skin advantage with 5 quality skins to 3.5 quality skins from the side of 3.5 quality skins from the side of Karaoke Machine Broke. And I say half because Ice Toboggan Corki is a decent skin, but doesn't have a good splash art at all.
I really think, though, that they actually could have extended their chances to win if they brought Huntress Sivir instead of Snowstorm Sivir. I'm not sure if you've ever seen that splash art, but it is by far the thickest skin in League of Legends history.
Have you not seen Kai'Sa's splash art? Dang. All right, and as
Huntress Sivir thick.
And as we are loading into the game here, that is not coming out correctly. Okay, so why don't you go ahead and introduce the blue side?
I was going to say, are we loading into the game correctly here?
No, I was talking about the graphic wasn't loading correctly.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I had a bit of a delay there. So, we're going to have Waba going mid on Corki. We're going to have I Am Protege going bot ADC, teamed up with Boo. Jungle, for blue, we're going to have Jim Cantor, or maybe Cantore, if he's Italiano, into the jungle. You want to take it over for the Reds?
All right, and on the red side, we have the side of the Slumberland Nibblers with Augusto on the top lane Malphite. We have AMT on the jungle Jarvan, Die Hard on the mid lane Cassidy, Fox Xyz on the AD carry Sivir, and Kankin on the support Thresh. I am sorry, Xyz, and I am sorry, what's it? I'm trying to figure out what I was going to say. Dang it, there was someone else whose name I was going to butcher the whole time. Oh yeah, no, actually, I'm not sorry, Derek. I'm going to butcher your name intentionally, because your face. Just kidding. Alright, so as we see here, they are setting up sort of a standard line of scrimmage is the side of SLN. What do you think about this early sort of deep ward placed by the side of KMB.
I actually believe that Malphite actually had vision there on that for a second, but 3v1, not going to stop it. Can't really collapse up with that Cassidon, especially not this early. So it's basically free for them, and I like it. It's going to be interesting to see if they go and try to actually steal that or not.
Well, certainly. And that Malphite being one of the weakest early game champions in the game, even after the introduction of Comet, he's still really weak in the early game, especially in comparison to champions like Gnar.
I mean, I don't think Malphite, he only has one skill, right? It's only at level 6, the Unstoppable Force.
Yeah, if you smell what he's cooking, that Unstoppable Force is what you're gonna be eating.
I haven't tasted one of those in a while.
That was a Rock joke, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
If you smell what The Rock is,
United States.
Oh my God, that would be awesome. But all right, back to the game. Which lanes do you think are really gonna take off in the early game?
Well, right away you see Caitlyn with a massive 2 CS, actually 1 CS lead, up 1 Sivir. So I'm calling farm up 20 by 10 minutes for Caitlyn right now.
Alrighty then. That's a bold prediction, given that Sivir has some of the best wave clear in the game. And there's a hook coming down onto the Boo Busters. A lot of damage going down onto him, but a lot of counter damage going back onto Kankin. He's got to be careful, or else he's going to take it down. But Boo Busters stepping up a little bit too far, and neither support dies in the exchange.
I'm really surprised that Thresh committed that hard there. He actually wasn't CC'd, beyond Janna. He could have walked away and just sort of said, you know what, I'm going to take it. Good ADC sense there by Protege, though, to stay on him.
Yeah, and we have a gank in the mid lane as AMT is chasing down Waba, and it does look like I was going to be right, and Waba will be that first blood in the mid lane. I was correct there. I freaking called it.
You were correct. I got the character correct.
You did get the character correct. I will give that to you.
And with the chunky auto, the whole chunk.
Yeah, you did get that correct. So, hey, in a manner of speaking, we were both correct.
And that's why we love each other.
Yeah,
platonically.
Yes, completely platonically. All right, and now we are going back to this, but after that good gank, we do see that Jarvan sort of starting to build up a little bit of a lead in that jungle. He's now up about ooh. Okay, he's up about almost 500 gold at this point. So he's going to have a good start on that early game as opposed to that Zac. And Die Hard just staring into the face of Waba saying, come at me, bro.
Yeah, and really at this point he can, and it looks like Jarvan is maneuvering back into mid for another gank.
Ooh, can you say camp? And Augusto is actually taking the fight to Derek. Derek is going down very quickly, but he manages to get out with the hop. Does manage to avoid it and stay alive, but he has to be extremely careful now. He's got to get... Oh, Derek almost dead. And he does get taken down by Augusto, who just goes at that Gnar with Gusto, and Boo Busters might be going down here. The Ignite is down, but... Oh, Xyz is in trouble. He gets caught up by the Zac Q, and he's going to go down to Prodigy, as Jim Cantor and Prodigy and Boo Busters all get to walk away. It's a 1-for-1 across the map. Overall... It's pretty much even.
Definitely going to force a back out of that bot lane, though, I would feel, with how low Janna is and the fact that Caitlyn has no mana. Up top lane, I was a little bit perplexed. I had to check the patch notes. It actually turns out that Malphite did get some skills in 8.4, so we're actually seeing a rework and new champion.
All right, sounds awesome. Hashin, eat your heart out, because we have an actual fight in the top lane now. However, that Gnar is up 10 CS, so you have to think that despite that kill, this lane will still be inclined towards Gnar getting the advantage in terms of CS.
Absolutely. Malphite's mana costs are extremely prohibitive. Gnar has an easy time farming, and once he gets towards that Mega, you have to respect him. You basically have to back off the minion line, or you're dead. Most
certainly. That's just... Mega Gnar is just such an ever-present looming threat when you're facing against this champion.
It looks like he's actually getting close to it up in the top lane right now.
Mm-hmm. He almost procced it during that last fight, but he was just unable to and got killed, I think, at the start of the animation. So there is that going on. And for some reason, the direct-to-cam is still sticking up top lane. It knows that these top laners want to fight each other. Let's see in the bot lane, a lot of damage going on. Oh, but the Unstoppable Force does come down. The stun comes down onto Derek, but Derek's still taking the worst of this trade, as he gets chunked down to about 30% HP. Mega Gnar is gone. So is the Unstoppable Force. but Augusto still has most of his mana. So this is, overall, this is a very beneficial situation for the side of SLN in the fact that their top laner is getting the better of his opponent.
You know, all memes aside, the Malphite is playing really well. I'd like to give him props for that. And, you know, again, all memes aside, a fed Malphite is kind of a scary thing. He's very hard to kill. You know, he has that threat of the mobility with his ult at any time.
Most certainly, but he is getting hopped on top of. He's taking up a lot of damage, but he probably won't be able to survive this. One more Gnar auto should get it, but he ran that direction for some reason, all right? And he does get taken down by Derek there. And very good sidestepping there from Prodigy, but a lot of damage does come down. It does come out onto the side of SLN's bot lane.
And you know, I almost wonder up top if Malphite was trying to get to the minion line so that a Corki missile wouldn't kill him, because, you know, a kill on Gnar isn't as scary as a kill on Corki. Just a thought.
That might be the case. That is true that could be. However, I don't think that they quite have the damage to take down this tower before the Malphite gets here. In addition, that Zac isn't going to be as potent in the 1v1, I don't think, as a Malphite who's got that extra armor to boost the damage on his abilities.
No, absolutely not. Especially, you know, that does give him a buy. It's, you know, death isn't the end of the world. He got to pick up some new items there.
Yeah, and we are seeing a little bit of a fight down the bot lane. A good flay onto both of them there, but Prodigy is able to get out so far. It looks like they are definitely sticking around for this, but it could cost Derek his life as Augusto almost takes him down there. Ooh, he's got to be careful. The unstoppable force is coming up extremely soon. So as soon as it comes up, you have to imagine he's going to hop on top of Derek.
Absolutely, and you know, even down 20 CS, he already does have a Bammy Cinder, and he's got the double Dorans and the armor. So he went for a heavy early game build, and he's scary. You know, he could catch up on CSing here if he, you know, focuses on that a little bit instead of Gnar.
Most certainly, but they are putting a little bit of a camp into the top lane, and that is going to be a dead Gnar here, or not. That stretching strike did get him, and he's probably going to go down here. Augusto, almost takes down Derek there. But Augusto does end up going down. Prodigy gets hooked. Overall, a 1-for-0 for the side of KMB. But that was close. That was very close.
Countering that aggression, and like I mentioned, that Mega Gnar just coming in so clutch. And, you know, he got out of that with 44 health. So, you know, even one more auto or one, you know, a tick and a half of Bammy's Cinder.
Oh, and that could be a dead Jim Cantor. He's going to be hopped down after that Cataclysm comes down. He's got the damage here if he lines this up right. Oh, he might have it. Oh, but he's still going to get killed, I think. And he does get killed by AMT. Waba's here, so Waba probably will end up getting this kill. AMT, no flash to do. Oh, and he misses the flag and drag, so that's probably going to be a kill there for the Corki. Not what you want to see, but overall a 1-for-1. And this is probably going to be a top lane tier 1 for the side of SLN. But we're not done fighting. In the bot lane, Prodigy gets taken super low and almost gets taken down. And then that tower gets taken down, and it looks like Augusto is going to be next. He's got to get out right now. And it doesn't look like the flash is going to be quite enough as Derek does pick up his second kill onto that Malphite. Now sitting at 1-3 is Augusto.
I'm glad you have that kind of lung capacity, because that was going for a while. That was impressive. I mean, it's just there's so much going on. You know, we're 10 minutes into the game and already have 8 kills. That's hype.
Most certainly is. I smell clowns. Do you smell clowns?
Yeah, maybe.
Also, look in the mid lane. This is a lot going on here. We are seeing a 3-man gank down onto him. He does have the Rift Walk, but he didn't use it yet. He also has Flash. He's going to get out of that, but it doesn't look like he's going to get quite out of the kill. He just disrespected the fact that he couldn't see anyone on the map. And as a result, he gets taken down. So this is going to be some mid-pressure for KMB. Well, it seems like the side of SLN are outplaying them individually. Just overall, the team play of the side of KMB just seems to be there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting, you know, as towers start to fall, especially the outers, and as SLN starts to converge. You know, a lot of times you see that teamwork coming in as Zac goes in the mid.
Almost certainly, but the Cataclysm comes down and teleport's coming in. There's a 5-man mid for the side of that, and a double teleport coming in. Oh, that's a big unstoppable force, but the Janna managed to heal up everybody else. Die Hard is taken very low, so he's not going to be able to help out much. That teleport kind of wasted in hindsight. And Waba coming in. Oh, Waba almost gets taken down there by Die Hard. What? Oh. That could not have really been closer, and the Lantern's going to come out. So Jim Cancer might end up dying, but the hook goes wide. And then Waba is just sitting here trying to poke out. The tower goes down in the bot lane, and Jim Cancer gets taken down by the Thresh auto. And he... Circus Afro. And Boo Busters gets taken down as well, but he's got to be careful. And he does get taken down. Oh, Circus Afros all around. And then Gnar gets hooked down. We're seeing more kills down here as Derek is about to be taken down by AMT. It's not even 12 minutes and we have 15 kills down. We have 2 towers down, about to be 3. We're at freaking... Oh, God, we're at 40,000 gold total. There's a 2K lead there for the side of SLN. Jesus, and look at the CS difference in the bot lane.
You know, the circus is in town tonight, boys, and I heard they're wearing bronze.
Oh, my God. Oh, God, that's great. Okay, so in that fight, what we did see was a massive overstay from SLN and just continuing to fight when they didn't really need to. Why do you think they ended up doing that?
I honestly, as an analyst, I have no idea. An analyst, I'm so taken aback by what happened. My words are lost at this point. You know, I honestly feel like it was almost like a vendetta. Like, you poke me, so I have to poke you. So we have to, oh, and here we go again.
There seems to be a lot of abilities thrown out, but nothing really coming of it. There's a 4-stack mid for the side of SLN, but a 5-stack mid for the side of KMB. But look at Exodus. He's in the top lane. He's solo pushing, but he knows that the Gnar is coming, so he's getting the heck out of dodge. He's pushing that wave. He's up 50 CS over his lane opponent.
It looks like Sivir up top might even want to duel Gnar. Stop there. Just, I don't know if that was a bait or... No, definitely not. And popping the... Oof.
She's got to be careful here. She does get out, and a red tower does get taken down. But Augusto might be the one taking down Derek here, as there is a slowdown. There was the unstoppable force used. That Sivir can catch up with that flash. She's got the damage there, almost got the kill. One more thing will do it. But if that W hadn't timed out right before she threw that auto, that probably would have been the death knell there for Derek. Overall, we do see a tower and a dragon go down for the side of KMB, but then it's going to be Rift Herald and top tower for the side of SLN overall, even across the map.
You know, SLN too, you got to check the gold here at this point. They got a 2K lead that's going to extend with this tower and the Herald. So really they're going to have a power play, probably up 4,000 or 5,000 gold by the time the Herald is dead.
Yeah, and there's a 1K gold lead just for Exodus there in the bottom lane for SLN. So you have to imagine that this could grow, as it seems that each team is stacking for different sides of the map, but you can definitely tell which one has the advantage here. It seems to be the side of KMB just getting the advantage in that that bottom side for now, at least, until Shelly comes out. Oh, let's see. Here comes that tower. That's not going to do much, Corky. You're now on the wrong side, my friend. You're now on the wrong side of that fight. I don't know what exactly Karaoke was thinking there, but he dove straight into the team. That was not the best move, and it does look like this top tower is going to be taken down as well, as it looks like Diehard is putting on a little bit too much of a chase, honestly. That Zac is still there. Riftwalk is burned, and he's going to go down too. So overall, not the best sequence of events for either team, as Shelly's going to take a chunk out of the inhibitor tower. Overall, though, I do have to give advantage to SLN for taking down a tier 2 as opposed to the tier 1. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure what Corky was going for. I wonder if maybe, he wasn't familiar with using package on Rift Herald or not. But, the best course of action there definitely would have been to just kind of hug back. I noticed his flash wasn't up, and he still had about 50 seconds left on flash. So I'm kind of wondering, what he was thinking there. The only thing I could really imagine is that he wasn't familiar with using the package on the Herald.
Waba, usually the top laner for this team, moved recently over to mid. I believe Hiccup was the previous mid laner for the team. So this change of mid, it could bite them. It could come back to bite them. It could be a good change. At the moment, it's looking to be a mixed decision. 17 kills at 16 minutes.
I actually really like that Cloud Drake, as you notice Sivir running around right now. People underestimate Cloud Drake.
Have you seen a buff?
When you have a farm. Yeah, that's amazing. The buff that's coming next patch, that's going to make that thing hotly contested. Amazing.
The out of combat and then in combat movement speed. Oh my gosh, it's such a good Drake now. It's not going to be as contested as Infernal or Mountain still, but I think it'll definitely become the third best Drake. I think that Ocean will definitely go by the wayside in comparison, and Jim Cantor's in a little bit of trouble here. He does get a stretching strike down onto Fox, but he has his team there as backup, and right now this is side lane split pushing from both teams. However, I think that the problem here is there's one split pusher for the side of SLN. There's two for the side of KMB.
Yeah, you are right there, and I mean, definitely the mobility's there for KMB, which is great. But it looks like SLN, they're going to gather up here and just start to shove it.
Yeah, most certainly. Remember, my friend, this is a PG show, so be careful what you say.
No, I meant shove the lane.
I know. That was a joke.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but also, one thing I'd like to talk about. Look at that CS differential in the bot lane.
Yeah, I was heavily wrong. I'm very humbled at this point. But also, another one, too. Look at J4 against Zach. He's already got the cleaver. He's already rocking the completed jungle item. He's gross.
Most certainly. And it does look like the Sivir should just be able to get out fairly easily with the Lantern there. Why did that hook come out? If anything, I thought that there would be a flay coming out, but Sivir does get out. She doesn't really have any items to heal except for that Doran's Blade, so I don't think they really see sort of a counter engage quite yet. I think they would sort of want to have Sivir chug a couple of those pots to go in. But at the same time, they're hovering around. What do you think the next course of action will probably be?
I really think right now that KMB could use some vision. If you take a look at the map, SLN's definitely winning the vision war right now, and their gold lead continues to grow. It's up to about 3,000 now. So that's something that they're going to have to change if they want to take back this game.
Well, certainly it does look like Diehard and Derek are going out in the top lane, but Jim Cantor is waiting in the wings as Diehard manages to juke out a little bit, but I don't think he's still going to be able to get out of this very well, but he does because he's casted in. And that hook does go wide as well, so nobody dies on either side. Derek kind of surprising Diehard.
The Meganar is down there too. That proc, without any cognizance on his part, it just sort of came out at the end. He just got so angry that he was so little for so long.
Ooh, there is so many jokes right there that I could make, but I'm not allowed to make them.
Looks like both teams are going to reset here. Corky has some sick farm set up down there in the bot lane.
Yes, but at the moment, it's not really looking like the camera really wants to focus on him. It just seems like this Corky is just the opposite of what this camera wants to focus on. I don't think I've seen but like a total of 30 seconds of Corky focused, and most of that was when he was getting ganked. But sitting at 2-3-3, he's doing okay for himself. He's ahead of his opposing laner in gold. But what do you think about how this Kassadin is even at 20 minutes with a Corky?
If his team can grab that Infernal that's coming up and be even with him, that is gross. That Kassadin, you got the two-shot potential coming in, the Rift Walk to get away, the Orb to just lock people down. I want to see it happen.
Yeah, and also with this Meganar, oh no, this Meganar coming up. That is a terrible time to prop Meganar, especially with that dragon fight coming up. Oh no. Tell them why this is so bad.
Well, Meganar, with all his extended abilities, he gets that wall slam, the initiation where he can just jump in and pound some people, especially in the dragon pit with that AoE. It's so clutch to have that, and without it right here, he's being bullied over by Kassadin. SLN definitely has the pressure there with the Sivir on the Drake. Sivir could take that out in about 10 autos at this point in the game. Infernal is a pretty squishy Drake. Looks like we are going to have some posturing and positioning down there at the Dragon Pit as we wait for this fight to inevitably break out.
Well, certainly it does look like SLN is starting up the Drake. Looks like everybody's going in, but Jim Cantor goes in, gets a 3-man knockup. ANT goes in with the Cataclysm, but ANT goes down. So does Augusto go in with the Unstoppable Force, but Prodigy's getting taken down by Fox. And then, Fox might get taken down by Waba here. Waba does manage to take him down, but Augusto's now onto Waba. He's going in. He's going straight for this Corky, and he's not going to get it. Kankin is going to go down. You have to wonder, where was the teleport from Diehard? It looks like it got canceled by Gnar, but Kankin looks like he's going to fall too here. overall, a good fight so far from the side of KMB, and Waba looks like he's going to pick up that last kill. 3 kills and 2 assists. I'll say 3 kills and an assist in that fight. Very good fight by him there.
Definitely, you know, that basically hands the Drake to their team, gets the gold lead, is basically closed, and after the Drake, the gold lead will close. And if you figure an Infernal Drake's about 7,000 to 8,000 late game gold spread amongst the team statistically, so that puts them right back in this in a big way.
Most certainly does. My big question is, why didn't Die Hard run and then teleport? Why didn't he, if they said, hey, we're going to fight, stand back, where was the teleport? Why were you in range for the Gnar? You have to think that with that casting in there, it would have been a much more even fight.
Oh, definitely, but as the loading screen tip from Gorilla sometimes reminds me that we are all human and things happen.
Things do happen there. And it looks like there is sort of a dance now for Vision. I remember you talked about earlier how SLN had it. SLN still does have the vision advantage, but KMB seems to be wandering around trying to establish their own vision around Baron.
Yeah, overall, I mean, the one thing that's impressive to me is check out Kassadin's vision score over the Corki there. You know, he has a 10-point lead. Could be just a control that he had up for a little while, but that's impressive for your mid laner to be second on your team. And Corki to not be catching up with him at this point.
And for your ADC to be single digits at 23 minutes.
That's a strong point. You definitely, yeah, absolutely.
That is a 9-ward Sivir at 23 minutes.
It's especially surprising when you consider the split pushing that she was doing. You'd think she'd want to be protecting that, but, you know, you can't argue with it right now. The game is so close. There's only 800 gold separating these two teams. The next fight is going to be a big one.
Most certainly, and they are gathering up around that Baron. As Waba is split pushing in the bottom lane, he does have teleport. So does Derek. So Derek honestly could probably split push too. We don't know how this is going to end up here, as we do see the side of SLN going to clear out that vision around Baron. They now have the complete control of that area.
Look at that. What do we have? 3, 6, 7 wards to 2 in the top river. That's a crazy amount of control up there for them.
I count 62. That is a lot of control around there. Unfortunately, for them, they aren't seeing the one key points that they do need to see, which is those 2 wards right in that small area. And with the side of KMB around the map, you'd have to think that they could pull the trigger on Baron here soon.
Yeah, definitely. I think that they're using Gnar as sort of a bait right now. You can see that they are gathering up mid. You know, Zach can jump out of the shadows at any time.
He most certainly can. Zach just being that quintessential surprise champion there, as the Sivir does proc that spell shield to eat up a Caitlyn trap. Still a 60 bot lane CS differential. A 2,000 gold lead just in the bot lane.
But you can't count out the effects of the Infernal that KMB has. That is so huge. You know, 8% AD when you're up into the 200-300 range on your AD. And then even the AP, it's just nuts. Infernal is so good.
It most certainly is. It is the best Drake by far. You have to think that Riot just never wants to touch that one, because Dragon is actually being contested heavily these days because of the Infernal Drake.
Back in my day,
Dragons were
last hit and 125 per teammate.
Dragons were irrelevant until no other objectives were on the map. Or unless you had a Master Yi complaining at you that he needed help taking Dragon most of the game.
Good old Master Feed.
Yeah. Still better than Lee Sin.
Ooh. Ooh.
No, you have to admit, most Lee Sin's feed. And we do have a fight here as, Fox just barely gets taken out. Oh, but he does get knocked back towards the team, and Fox gets taken down. Just massive mispositioning there, and that is probably going to give the Baron over to the side of Karaoke Machine Broke. What was he doing there?
It's very difficult. I mentioned that in the pregame. Sivir has basically no dueling capability, no escapability aside from that ult, and it's so hard. If you misposition one step on Sivir, you're basically dead.
Most certainly, and Kankin is right into the fire himself. Kankin is probably going to be taken down here by Waba. Diehard is on the other side, but he's just watching his support go down. They're trying to stall this Baron until Exus can get back up. But Diehard he could probably take that fight at this point. He's still up in the scorecard, and he's going in. He's got the damage there, and so does the Malphite coming in with the Unstoppable Force, and the Rift Walk does take down the Corki. So it's now a 4v4, and one of those four, say he misses the wallop, misses the stun, but oh, Diehard does get Boo Busters, so now this is a dangerous place for the side of KMB. Prodigy goes down. This is turning bad. Dignitas at Baron goes down, does Derek as well. Cantor is just being chased down by Diehard, but it looks like he's going to be taken down as well. The Zac passive procs, but there's enough AoE there between Sivir and Cassidy, and this is now going to be a Baron for the side of SLN. Oh my god, the throw.
I was going to note, they really should have gotten out of that pit. When you saw how slow it was going down, it was only losing about 1,000 health per 10 seconds. You know, 100 health a second isn't anything on Baron. And you know, when they're two, Janna walked behind the Baron and lost almost all of her health instantly from the double Baron buff from being behind him. I mean, that was ugly. It was bad positioning, just a mistake there.
I think a lot of this is just coming from the fact that there's that massive gold differential in the bottom lane. Caitlyn was doing no damage to the Baron. She's down to almost 3,000 gold.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there. I saw that. It just looked like little poke damage. It almost looked like a support where it was auto attack. It was Veigar auto attacks, in fact. I think that's what we were seeing there.
But remember, I believe in terms of Baron now, on some... No, wait, no, that's just the towers. I'm sorry, I was mistaken. Yeah, it was Veigar auto attacks onto the Baron there, and now we are seeing 4 of the 5 members of SLN having the Baron buff on them. Actually, it might be 5 there, and we do see a banner of command minion. Ooh.
I love it. Especially, you know, with the Baron changes in 8.4, if they get another Baron later game, if they're planning on that. I don't know if you've seen that yet, YouTube videos or even in live games. That second Baron with the banner of command on the cannon minion, you're talking about 7 or 8 shots to just kill the tower. And they're actually treating it like an objective, like protecting it with their whole 5-man squad.
That is juicy. I like it. That is exceptionally juicy.
If you can stack that with an Elder so your team burns, you just have so much zoning and nobody can really kill that minion since, you know, it gets the huge MR buffs.
Sorry to interrupt, but we do have a fight going down. Prodigy does get taken down by a lot. Cantor does end up being the first person down, and it does look like there's a lot of damage there onto Waba, onto Derek too. Waba goes down, so does Prodigy, so does Derek. Boo Buster's the only one to escape. That Wombo team fight we talked about earlier, the damage coming out from the side of SLN.
Coming out there, and then you mentioned your observation on the gold lead really coming to fruition here. Sivir just wrecking. You know, spell shielding that tornado with the easy there. Just, is this game? Is this game?
This could be game. There's another 20 seconds on the death timers for the entirety of KMB. So it does look like this will be game. That Sivir's going to take down that tower fast. And Boo Buster's isn't going to do a damn thing about it. There's a Jarvan. There's a Cassidy. There's a Sivir. That's going to be the game. A 1-0 lead for the side of SLN in what ended up being a clown fiesta. Jeez.
You know, I did mock the Clown Fiesta in the early game, but SLN really pulled it there together in the end. I mean, really dominant performance there. That last team fight, executing everything perfectly, protecting that Sivir who mispositioned before. That Baron was inarguably the contextual turning point of the game back in their favor. You know, they never really didn't have an advantage, but that really shut the door on the coffin.
Most certainly. That was a... That Baron fight, I think, single-handedly threw them the game. It was wow.
Even with the banner of command, I really like that because that had them off guard. They're thinking, you know, what do we do here? And by the time they realized what to do, there was a team fight breaking out mid, and the game was over.
Most certainly. And all right, guys, we will be taking a short break here, everyone. So now we will be right back with Game 2 of Karaoke Machine Broke versus SLN. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I am still Hypertension here with Tamed, and that was a heck of a game one.
It was a heck of a game one. You know, we had the clown fiesta. I actually took the time between games to get in full clown makeup here. I'm fully ready to go.
That was my attempt at a horn, like Deficio.
I'm feeling, you know, I think we might see the Master Yi in this game.
Dude, come on. Come on.
I'm feeling it. I really am. You know, Master Yi is a dominant jungler, I think. He has Alpha Strike, and he swings his sword.
Next, you're going to say that Jax will be played in the top lane.
No. Yeah, I already broke myself. Don't try to break me further.
I mean, Hashinshin already does that. What a joke.
That dude literally just runs into his opponent from like level 2 onward every single time he dies. He just comes back and charges.
I mean, I'm Silver, and I still know better than that.
He's one of the highest viewed streamers. He's in the top 20 consistently on League. And his CS per minute is sometimes as low as like 4 or 5 from just endlessly dueling.
Yeah. All right, so back into this game. Looking at it, do you see any picks sort of being taken away that after that last game?
You know, I'll be interested to see if they actually do get rid of the Sivir after that. That was the one I felt like that actually worked really well for them. You know, the rest of their team was well coordinated, but I don't feel like anybody on SLN was like objectively dominant.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like we're going to see a radically different draft this time.
All right, and we are getting into draft now, so we will see if that pans out where they do get rid of the Sivir. In my opinion, they also need to get rid of that Jarvan because of the fact that while he wasn't the most impactful player on the map, he was still very good on it. So I think you would leave out the Kha'Zix or Kayn and then ban that Jarvan instead. And we do see a Lulu and Braum ban. Same bans. No Scions so far. So far, I'm happy. Still there?
So, absolutely. I was just wondering, would it actually be bad manners to actually ban Jinx and then Scion against you since, you know, Hyper 10 Scion?
I don't play either of the champions, so I wouldn't mind it. And then we do see the Gnar ban come out. KMB not wanting that to go over. Also, we do have a news update. Waba is back in the top lane, and Hiccup is back in the mid lane. So we will see the normal laners for the side of KMB in this game as opposed to last game. We are seeing that last ban hovered. We do see Gnar, Braum, Skarner, Vladimir, and Lulu being taken off already. So, what will we see? What do you think will be the 6th ban?
Ooh. Oh.
Ah, freaking crap.
There it is. Sejuani, can't blame him. Sejuani's ult is so easy to use, so impactful. I mean, I wouldn't personally want to play again. Let's see if they take the, you know, let's see if maybe they take the Zac away from them.
Yeah, that was one Scion hover. How many can we get? We do see Tristana picked up. That was one pick that I believe was banned the last game. So we are seeing Tristana being picked for the side of SLN.
And, you know, SLN, the Sivir had a really good split push sense, good ADC sense. And now with Tristana being super safe, those little missteps aren't going to matter anymore. They simply just don't against Trist.
Yeah, and we do see the Rakan locked in. Hopefully, I felt that like Janna wasn't really impactful last game, so maybe the Rakan will have a much bigger impact this game.
I mean, hopefully they grab Xayah here. That would be awesome to see. I always love seeing the duo.
That would be a great pickup. You are right.
It is open this time. It got banned in the first phase last time, and no, they're not going to do it.
Not going to do it.
They still have it for 3rd pick there, and obviously SLN can't counter pick it at this point since they already have Triss, so it's actually pretty safe to pick up Zac right there.
Yeah, it does give you that Zac pick that was doing extremely well for Jim Cantor in the last game. We do see the Xayah hover for some reason.
It's BM.
They're not going to honestly pick that. There's no way they're going to honestly pick that. In fact, the Thresh being a counter to Rakan, as I was saying, would be a good thing now that there is a Rakan and Zac. That Flay just now has double trouble. In fact, one pick that we could see come out that would be double trouble for both of them, and you're going to think I'm an idiot for suggesting this, we could see Volibear.
Volibear?
Have you seen him lately? His win rate is third among both top laners and junglers.
I mean, I know he did receive some buffs. I haven't personally seen him being played at all.
I've seen him, and he's been playing extremely well. Plus, the modification to AP items, with everybody not buying Morellonomicon first anymore, it's much harder to play against him in the early game.
That's definitely, it's something to pay credence to, is you're going to see they actually just took out the Malphite there.
Yeah,
that was,
picked up the Kha'Zix.
I'm surprised to see that.
Oh, where are my bear picks?
I don't think we're going to see a bear.
I know, I love it though. We do see Talia getting banned as well.
You know, back in my day, they would never have left an armored bear into the League of Legends.
Actually, he doesn't wear armor anymore in the lore. He's kind of just like a douchebag version of Thor.
I just miss when that was Zillion's quote, and he even had an armored bear hater buff.
God. As a lore guy, I love the lore so much better now. We do see Malzahar and Maokai going off the table. So now that does open up things for picks, especially in the top lane. Picks like the Volibear, picks like Ornn, picks like Sion, which we have seen. I can't... I just opened myself up for it again.
You know, SLN, I like it with the Kha'Zix here. The threat of... There's the Orianna, which is always a safe mid laner. I honestly feel like Orianna is one of the most balanced characters in the entire game.
She's the most balanced character in the history of League of Legends statistically.
Oh my goodness. The LeBlanc mid, that's...
Wow, okay.
That's spicy.
I joked about Jack's top, but, okay.
We're gonna see it.
We're seeing the, Bad special. And the Darius. Okay, this is spicy. LeBlanc, who hasn't really been in favor for a while ever since her nerfs, just such an unbalanced champion. Between her two reworks, all of that jazz, there's just not much to go off of. I'm kind of surprised that we had, like I said, I'm kind of surprised that there was no Sion pickup for the side of SLN. It seems like with all of the initiation, having that sort of, those slows, the knockups, the counter engage from Sion, and just his general tankiness would have been a very good idea, as opposed to his Jax.
Not a bad idea, but humor me here. Threshland's hook on literally anybody. LeBlanc clones in, Kha'Zix, missiles in your face, Trist rocket jumps in your face, Jax counter-striking all over your whole body. Like, oh my gosh, that is...
What are you going to do about the other 4 members of the team?
I don't know. I just think that if they can get a priority target, like if they can get that Xayah or Orianna just ripped apart, just imagine what they can do to the rest of the team. I feel like this comp is going to heavily lay on Thresh's shoulders, though. We're going to need those hooks. We're going to need clutch lanterns. We're going to need the soul prison to come down at just the right time. But if he can play at the top of his game, that is gross. I mean, they're riding a lot on their burst.
But at the same time, I still think of, when I look at these compositions, I think of which one is easier to pull off. KMB. They have 2 sources of massive initiation. They have a good, beefy midline champion in Darius that can be able to not only follow up on that front line, but sort of keep the back line safe with his pull and his W slow. He has the executes on his ultimate. There's Orianna for the follow-up on the engage with her shockwave. There's Xayah ultimate. There's just so much wombo and such a good, like, front-to-back team fighting for the side of KMB. I just don't see SLN making it past the mid-game.
You might actually be right. I was thinking about that too. Just imagine, Zach blobbing some people up and Orianna vacuuming them in, and then just the feathers flying. That is pretty gross.
And the Decimate.
I was going to say, if Rakan can actually save his ultimate, everything that I just said could then follow up with a charm, and then just start the whole thing over again, basically.
Most certainly. And like I said, Darius, the more stacks he can apply onto that, the more damage that ultimate does. So we could see some penta dunks here. I will be disappointed if Karaoke does not have Dunkmaster Darius. If you play Darius at all, you need to own this skin. I don't even play Darius, and I own Dunkmaster Darius.
Yeah, I feel like
it was a Christmas gift for my sisters.
And Draven are like the quintessential, absolutely needed League of Legends skins.
But everybody, when they pick Draven, a lot of people just go straight for Gladiator or Soul Reaver, which they're wrong. You go... and even Draven, I think you're wrong. I think you go for primetime.
Now, see, I would put Primetime right there because it fits Draven's personality. But Draven is Draven.
Yes, but so is primetime Draven, except for he's also primetime. Like,
I guess we'll have to ask Tyler one.
I mean, he's gonna say Soul Reaver, or no, he's gonna say Gladiator because he's cosplayed it more times.
True.
He loves Gladiator Draven, so his opinion is already known. He'd say that we're both morons. Okay, so look at this team. Like you said, we have a very good pick team from SLN. We have a very good team fight team from the side of KMB. Sort of a flip on the head from the last game. Where do you think this is going to go? There is a lot of 1-3-1 potential on the side of SLN, I will say that.
If the game goes past 30, KMB, absolutely. Last game ended in 29-22. So we'll see. If this game goes past 30, though, I don't see how they can fight against, the Zac ultimate, the Shockwave, like everything coming in. Like you said, the Decimate. It's just so much.
Most certainly. And also, one thing about that is the Decimate, part of what makes it more unusable in team fights is the fact that you have to hit everybody with the blade of the axe to be able to apply the most amount of damage. Well, let's bounce. The Grand Entrance, oh crap, what's the name of Rakan's ultimate? The quickness and the shockwave all set up Darius so well for these massive decimates, these massive pulls. There's just so much follow-up gathering CC from the side of KMB that the rest of the team can follow up on. All of their CC is made easier when they're grown together, and every one of their CC pulls them together except for the Xayah Featherstorm into pull.
Yeah, the great thing about Featherstorm from Xayah too is the fact that it can use just to dodge anything.
Most certainly. Like, if Jax wants to go on top of you, then you can instantly Featherstorm him into Blade Caller, and then Jax is done because he's already used Counter-Strike. Right through the Counter-Strike.
The one thing that I've seen that was actually amazing in this duo that we have here actually happened in a pretty low elo game, though. However, I saw a Xayah actually react to a Buster shot from Triss with Featherstorm and still be able to counter it. They weren't even far apart. It was pretty impressive. It's a thing you can do, but you have to be very quick. Most
certainly, especially given that Rakan is the champion known for the quickness. You don't see it much out of a Xayah. Done.
So, the real question here, can SLN cook Xayah and Rakan into the chicken dinner? Or will they get dunked on?
Well, that's the thing. Does the ball get put in KMB's court, or does SLN make a nice dinner? Because if you think about it, they have all the tools that they need. Darius's axe makes a good fork. I say makes a good knife. Orianna will be a good fork, bending her arms and legs into a fork shape. You have Xayah. You have Zac as the drink or the dessert. You have Rakan and Xayah as the chicken dinner.
But, ultimately, KMB actually wants the ball in SLN's court for a wicked, crazy shockwave. Vacuum, excuse me.
That was good. Okay, so who are you picking to win this game?
I'm going to go ahead and go with KMB. Their draft is too dominant. If they can just stall out until 30 minutes, all they have to do is just basically play normally. They don't even have to excel here, just play the lanes, drag the game out, don't lose all the objectives, and then just massive team fight comp.
I gotta agree with you there. I think that these Jax and LeBlanc picks were mistakes in comparison to better picks like Victor and Zion here. I think that definitely this team fight wombo composition will win the day in this game, and then push us into a sweet game 3. This is every bit of the series that I cracked it up to be when trying to sell people on, hey, we should do this.
As it stands, SLN has the 1-0 lead, and they are the team that's currently looking more playoff favorable, correct?
SLN is actually 4-5. KMB is 5-4. So this will tie them in the standings at 5 apiece, at 5 all, if they do win does SLN. All right, so now we are now loading into game. We will start in just a second, but one thing we do have, that all important skin game. Last game it determined who won the game. Now we will see whether or not it will. KMB, 3 out of 5 skins, but they do get an extra point for Dunkmaster Darius, as opposed to 5 out of 5 for the side of SLN. SLN does win the skin game again.
You know, too, though, I actually do like down there, though, that they have the 2 world skins. I mean, Taipei Assassins, that feels so long ago. That was almost 6 years ago now.
Yeah, yes, it was. You have to think about it. I wasn't playing League of Legends yet. I started in early Season 5. I got into the game. I downloaded the game the week that Bard was announced.
I actually have King Ramos from playing the alpha.
Jesus Christ.
I've basically spent all my young adulthood on League of Legends.
All right, and as we are loading into the game, remember, everybody, that this is Champions League. This is Risen Esports. I'm Hypertension, here with Tamed. On the blue side of this game, we do have Augusto on the Jax in the top lane. I can't believe I'm saying the top lane Jax, and it's not a Hashinshin game. AMT on the jungle Cossacks. Die Hard on the mid lane, the Blanc. Fox on the AD carry, Tristana. Kankin on the Thresh support. They are SLN, the Slumberland Nibblers. God, I mess that up every time.
And in a world where I introduce the red team, we have Waba on top lane Darius, Jim Cantore on the jungle, Hiccup on Orianna, I Am Prodigy on the Xayah, and Boo Busters on that cute, extra fluffy Rakan.
Most certainly, and also, this is a dangerous position here for the 3 members of KMB, but an even more dangerous one for Augusto. They do that deep invading and that 3-man invade on that top side of the map. A repeat from last game. Also, I'd like to point out that Waba has the best Dunkmaster Darius skin.
Looks like he's rocking out the Los Angeles Lakers Dunkmaster Darius?
No. Not the Lakers. Screw the Lakers.
That is their colors, right? Or is that the Wizards? I'm not sure.
No, the Wizards are, I believe, black and red. I could be wrong there. But the Lakers, it's a bright yellow. It's not the gold. If I was to compare that to any professional sports team, it seems much more like the Baltimore Ravens than anything else.
Yeah, you're right.
Go Ravens.
I mean, I'm from Pennsylvania, so you're welcome to take that opinion somewhere else.
Oh, okay. You go for the Craftsburg Steelers. I can't say the other word.
No, I'm an Eagles fan.
Oh, well, what the heck, man? We have no beef with you. I mean, you're not the Cowboys. Everybody hates the Cowboys.
That's true. Yeah, let's just hate the Cowboys together as we get back to the game here.
Yeah, and we do have an engage here in the bot lane as the feathers come out, but it looks like Boot Busters takes a lot of damage there. You're just seeing this constant fighting in the top lane. Darius and Jax, both of them just love to fight. The Grandmaster at Arms and the Hand of Noxus. God, this is one of those games where it's just like the titles are epic. God, Jax with the Grandmaster at Arms versus Dunkmaster Darius, the Hand of Noxus.
Can we also have, like, the Grand Deceiver mid?
LeBlanc's just the Deceiver, but there is rumor that she could be the 3rd member of the ruling thing of Noxus, as Augusto puts down a little bit of damage onto Waba. But there is a gank in the mid lane. AMT coming down onto Hiccup. The chain is down, the Ignite is down, the damage is there for AMT. First blood over to the side of Summerlin Nibblers. Hey, I got it!
Really good coordination there with the Kazakhs with the jump and then the flash, knowing exactly when the tower is going to attack. He actually timed that perfectly to save his own life, get away with a clean first blood and almost a 1,000 gold lead only 3 minutes into the game.
Yes, but that did cost them 3 summoner spells to do to 2 over there. So while it is worth to trade overall 1 summoner spell for a kill, at the same time that is going to be a little bit risky for the Kazakhs to have that, especially when going up against the Zac.
No, you're definitely correct there, but there's also, you know how Kha'Zix is so oppressive, even pre-6. He might just keep going mid. He might just set up his tent until her flash is back up.
Most certainly, but right now there are pings on the bot lane by the side. Let's say by AMT, but it does look like Fox is the one that's going to get hopped on. Boot Busters went straight in, and then Prodigy just taking no damage, dodging at the hook. A lot of skills used there. Not many of them landed.
No, it's much to do about nothing. So it looks here like Zach is looking. Is he going to back or not?
Doesn't look like it. He jumps in onto Augusto. Augusto gets hit with a stretching strike, manages to flash the Decimate, and does get out alive. So a flash burn by the side of SLN. A trade that definitely does go in the favor of KMB.
Yeah, you know, right now SLN is down 3 flashes, the KMB just being down 1 flash.
Oh, and there is a hook coming down onto Prodigy. Prodigy just getting hit by this explosive charging Knight. And Kankin takes down Prodigy as Boot Busters is next. And he's not going to really get out because AMT is right there for the cleanup.
I like that Kha'Zix picked up that second kill down there. I mean, I mentioned how oppressive he is early. That Kha'Zix, you know, with the 400 first blood gold, the 300 second kill gold, that's a 700 gold. You know, that's a big chunk towards his back for the 650 for the jungle item.
Most
that
certainly.
Kha'Zix is going to be gross.
He's sitting on look at the amount of gold he is sitting on. I say he was sitting on. He was sitting on almost 1,500 gold just on that back.
Yeah, I mean, he has
Over that, actually.
2-part jungle item already and a Caulfield's Warhammer, which, you know, gives him the CDR so he can hop in even faster. It's gross.
It really is. It is gross. Also, I like that AMT is doing his best Kenny Omega impression here. He's cleaning up all the fights.
Yeah, absolutely, and it makes sense now almost why that Kha'Zix was banned last time.
Most certainly. Maybe changing up those bans wasn't the best idea. And oh, there is a lot of damage there, but Diehard doesn't know that Zach is right there, and Diehard goes down. Ooh, a little bit of overextension there from the SLN mid laner.
You know, that was so clean in textbook too. You know, Orianna just doing the bait right into the clean Zach gank and getting away so easily. That's why he's such a meta pick right now.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to really worry about the towers. You're just in, you're out. It's so clean. Looks like the Drake will go over to them as well.
It does look like it will. If I was AMT, I wouldn't try this without my flash. We do see Cantor get hooked, but there's not going to be anything coming out of it. You see, Exus is just back in the lane, just farming. Augusto is pushing in Waba, and it's a 4v2 there. You can't really contest that. I'm not looking forward to that Bruiser, rune that's coming with patch 8.5.
Bone plating?
Say what?
Oh, bone plating, isn't it?
No, there's a Bruiser rune.
Oh, there's another one.
Oh my God, you haven't heard about it?
No, I have not.
Oh,
Fill me in while we don't have much action going on.
Basically, if you're in combat for 4 seconds, you get anywhere from 20 to 60 scaling AD. I'm sorry, 10 to 60 scaling AD. And also we have Waba, who might get taken down here by Augusto. Augusto has a couple stacks of the Noxian Might on top of him, and he gets dunked. He's gonna die to the bleed. And Waba takes down Augusto in a solo kill.
Okay. You know, when you're already bleeding, even as Jax, I just feel like it's silly to just recommit to a Darius. Wait for the bleed to fall off, then go back in if you want to.
Most certainly, an AMT is in a rough spot here. He does not have flash, but Diehard's in an even rougher spot. I think he just wasted the W, and that, oh, what a lantern to get him out.
That was quite a lantern. But yeah, you're absolutely right there. He definitely did waste that W. It looked like it was just a misclick, which happens. But, you know, deception sometimes doesn't work exactly as you plan it to.
Most certainly not. Oh, that was so satisfying to see that Tristana get three minions with 1 auto attack. But Jim Cantor almost goes down as well. I completely missed that. What?
You know, they traded flash for flash there. You know, LeBlanc, rather than rotating back to lane, she's like, I'm just going to poke my head around the jungle a little bit. And it worked.
Most certainly. I don't know how I missed that.
You know, they did trade flash for flash, though, and he got away. So ultimately, it's not really that bad.
Most certainly is not. And okay. One thing I did find here. Sorry, I'm trying to... find something else here. But why don't you go? Oh, never mind. There is a fight in the bot lane, but it does look like the hook lands onto Prodigy. Prodigy taking damage here. Exodus and Kankin not taking much in return. Ooh. So we are going to see sort of a disengage here by both of these teams. So, but it does look like we do have Jim Cantor waiting in the wings there. Also, he took the Hex Splash.
Yeah, I really hope that he didn't take the Hex Splash.
Oh no, it's because of the bug!
I was going to say, I really hope that that's not the reason that he took that bug. Or took that, because Riot themselves are already considering it an exploit.
Oh, that... We might want to tell him that next time. That's not good. Because what do you bet that that's the reason why he was taking it?
I bet it is, but I also hope that it isn't, because...
oh, you know it is!
Cactopus already had commented on Reddit saying that they know about it and it's considered like an exploit.
Kind of like that Xerath thing a while back.
But I mean, so far he hasn't executed it. You know, as we've been watching the game. To anybody who's uninformed, there's actually a bug right now with Zac where he can actually activate Hex Flash while he's in midair, become unstoppable during his E.
I will interrupt you for a second. We do have a lot of damage down onto Hiccup. Hiccup possibly going down, but Jim Cantor coming back in and getting Diehard instead. Diehard going down there as it looks like Fox might end up getting this bottom lane tower, but he does get out. But then Waba's there. Does get the kill with the Decimate. Doesn't do the dunk, unfortunately. One more auto attack, and he'll have the damage with the dunk, but he doesn't get the kill with it. But he does get the double kill overall. Ooh.
Yeah, that was very clean bot lane there. Darius is starting to snowball here really quickly. I'm actually favoring him a lot over the Jax pick top. You know, Darius is very beefy. His damage is comparable to Jax. Jax, I feel like, is more of a ganker. I prefer to see Jax in the jungle. I love to have him on my team because, you know, he just hops out and destroys people.
And once again, after that new rune, he'll destroy people even more. The rune is called Conqueror. After 4 seconds in combat, your first attack against the enemy champion gains you 10 to 60 AD based on level and for 4 seconds and converts to 20% of your damage to true damage for the duration.
So it's almost like Electrocute, but for people that want to stay in.
No. That is a duration where you get 20% of your damage as true damage. And also, we do have Diehard going in here onto Jim Cantor. AMT is going too. The Ignite is ticking down, but I believe the passive is there. And it looks like so is the pull there for AMT. He gets caught there, and it looks like he's probably going to go down here to the just combined might of KMB, but he does manage to get out with that Blast Cone. Whew. A lot going on there.
Yeah, I think a lot of summoners are burned at this point, but AMT, you know, still managing to get away there. I feel like if they wanted to, they probably could have committed the resources used to kill him, but, you know, there's big things happening soon. You know, that Herald is in play. We're going to see an Infernal here soon. You'd want those summoners over a kill right now. So actually, I'd say good call on KMB there for not committing.
Most certainly, that kill would have resulted in something like a Rift Herald maybe, but overall it probably wouldn't be worth it just because of the fact that they'd have to risk to go do that. They do have the lead. They're probably going to take down that mid tower here soon. And you have to think, like, what is the next step for both of these teams?
Oh, absolutely Infernal. It's going to be fought over, I promise you. Especially,
ooh,
you know, think about KMB right now with how low LeBlanc is in mid. That's basically a forced back, and the tower's already moved up. It's going to be really hard for them to even contest this Infernal right now, and they have there too.
Most certainly. And one thing I keep looking at this Jax and thinking about the fact of how this champion's not meant for this lane, I don't think. I really don't think that until this next room comes out. But we are seeing a 4-man dive into the bot lane. Kankin and Fox are not in a good position. The ball is on top of him. The quickness misses, but so does the hook. The flay comes out and is absolutely clutch there as Jim Cantor's getting poked down by both the tower and the Tristana. A very clean disengage by the side of SLN.
But it also, you know, map position, think about the priority that they have right now. The tower's going down in the middle in their favor. I still favor them in the pit right now.
Oh, most certainly. But the thing that we have to think about is Augusto has teleport and Waba does not. And Waba is back, but at the same time you are correct, they do end up getting the Infernal Drink. and they have that
Yeah.
second tower go down. So right now they are rocking a solid 3,000 gold lead.
Yeah, absolutely. And it makes sense exactly how they played that out. You know, not going for the kill on AMT, knowing where they doing that dive. They didn't even care that they got disengaged on. In fact, it could have even been bait. They could have said, "Oh, look, that they outplayed us. Now we're just going to run away and take Drake." So you know, now with the Drake out of commission, they can look for Herald. Herald's still up for 7 minutes yet, or 6 minutes, excuse me.
Well, certainly we do see a fight in the mid lane. Hiccup almost going down there to the Kazakhs and LeBlanc. Augusto is just going on top of them there, but Waba is not afraid of this tower. What?
You know, Darius will have it back here soon enough. He is the dunk master, and not without due cause.
Yeah, he's got some pretty big balls there.
Yeah, absolutely, and he's not afraid to swing them around and decimate people with them.
We're just going to go back and forth on this, aren't we? And there's the pull there.
Yeah.
The stun going down. No follow-up, though, there from Augusto. As AMT is jumping onto Boo Bust, there's not much damage on the follow-up. Kankin is there, so you have to assume that AMT is going to be safe. But there is a 5-man stack around that Rift Herald, so you have to think that that is going to be the next objective that KMB are going to go for, and they're going to do it. And they might lose the bot lane tier 1 as a result, so it's essentially going to be tower for tower here.
But that Herald is an ever-present threat for the next couple minutes. You know, if they even get a pick, that turns one tower into 2 quickly.
Most certainly, and remember that Herald lasts for a total of 20 minutes on whoever has it. 20 total minutes. It looks like they are pushing for that top wave now, so that'll be another tower over to the side of KMB, just off of their map rotations.
Yeah, KMB looking really great right now with the 2 Drakes. You know, picking up that Herald, they're saying they're not going to get O2'd. Like you said, that their comp is pretty gross. And I feel like right now Kazakhs is really suffering from the Talon problem, where if you don't get really far ahead, you start to get really far behind.
But
it's
remember,
this sort of assassin problem that League has.
Remember, guys, my co-caster is not a Talon one-trick.
I am not a Talon one. I have a lot of games.
Dash S. Dash S. So we are seeing AMT go into that pit, clear wards out. We are seeing a very good vision score from the jungler of SLN in both games. However, what we're seeing a very bad vision score from are the carries of the side of SLN. We're seeing 7 vision score for this LeBlanc. We're seeing 6 for this Tristana. And we're seeing 4 from Hiccup.
Does have 2 control wards in inventory right now, though, and a massive farm lead. So she could, you know, pop them down, and as they get killed, just continually buy some more. She does have some inventory space still.
4 vision score from the mid laner of KMB. At 17
now that
minutes.
I can't excuse. I cannot excuse that.
17 minutes! And we do see AMT manages to avoid that. The less bounce is wasted, but so is the tower in the mid lane. And this Herald is probably going to be taken down before she can attack that tower. I'd say the Herald is going to be taken down before she takes down the tower, but Augusto might have to back off of this. It is going to be a 5-man pressure into that bottom lane, and that LeBlanc is now rotating. So this is definitely going to be another tower over. But we do see the Xayah get hooked. The Featherstorm goes down, but so does the Kazakhs here. Ooh, that was not necessarily the best move. And also, Prodigy's getting hit on the back line. Waba goes down on the front line, but there's just a lot of damage all over the fight. It's just a crazy fight, and the tower survives. Neither ADC goes down, despite being focused by one of the Fed enemy members, but that Rakan does get hooked. The Jax does go in, and he goes out. That's just the same. And oh, that's a big shockwave onto 3 members. Fox does get 3 of them out of there, though. That tower is dealing a lot of damage there, and that's going to be a lot of CC onto them. Jim Cantor might go down here to the tower, and he does go down. Hiccup goes down to the tower as well, and that's going to be a lot of damage onto those. Oh, but the Thresh goes down as well. Cantor manages to survive through the passive, as Prodigy does heal up somehow.
That was a very exciting 2 for 2.
Most certainly. Oh, Prodigy's going to get... Oh, my God. He still gets in there. As AMT's next. Oh, the turnaround there. The greed from the side of SLN costs them their 2 kills, and it's going to cost them this tower as well.
You know, Kazakhs has been dead for 60 of the last 62 seconds now. It's not a good look.
Are you kidding? That can't be true.
Well, I mean, he died and then came back immediately and just proceeded to die again instantly. So, the real problem there for SLN started when Kha'Zix went in by himself around the backside, playing it properly but not without the coordination from his team. And then on top of that, LeBlanc, she said, I'm going to do that too. So LeBlanc actually got, the beat down there early on, which just allowed them to do that recommit later.
I just feel like if you're going to do an assassin jungler, you need to have some sort of beef in the mid lane. I think that you could have done a Galio and done just as effective, if not better, with this team composition. But
it's true with Kha'Zix because he can, like the Rengar, he can be sneaky invisible, and Galio can still ult onto him for that surprise. I actually was thinking about that after the draft. Galio is one of the best, if not the most meta mid laner right now, outside of pro play, but in high tier play. He's so good, and we're going to see another Infernal
he's
come up.
He's meta in pro play, too. Did you see Bjark's in?
Oh, that's what I mean. In pro play, he's absolutely contested.
And he's not that difficult of a champion to play, so you have to consider, why not the Galio over this LeBlanc as the side of KMB does take their second Infernal Drake. They're now 3 Drakes in, up 5 towers to 4, up about 5,000 gold. This is going to be a beefy ulter if this game goes all the way to 35 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, I called it, for 30 minutes plus for KMB, and it's not even 20 minutes yet, and they're already, getting destroyed. So their strategy has basically failed at this point. The only thing that they really have that they can do is an outplay or just smart picks. And if they want to get those smart picks, look at Vision. I mean, look at this map right now. The whole thing is red.
It most certainly is. The town's painted red, and that name painted on it is Karaoke Machine Broke. And it looks like that name's about to be painted right onto Diehard's face as the quickness, the slingshot, all the CC comes in, and Diehard goes down again. Despite being one of the most slippery assassins in the game, Diehard just isn't able to get away from the side of KMB. There's too much for him. I really question this double assassin
there's
composition.
There's no midline on their team, like you said. There's nothing to really distract and nobody to really go around and split push that can effectively do it. So I really feel like at this point they're not necessarily getting outskilled, but definitely outdrafted. Anytime that you allow a Xayah Rakan to happen, you're almost guaranteed to be outdrafted to begin with.
Most certainly, and it does look like he goes in and he does not steal it away, so he's going to die. A tower did go down to the mid lane, but that's Baron over to the side of KMB, a kill over to him. And this bot lane's got to run. Oh, I'll say you're not in a good place, Fox, but neither is Kankin. But Jim Cantor does get close enough to do that, and that Featherstorm is going to come in. It's going to get 2. Oh no, Diehard does manage to barely get away, but oh, Jim Cantor! Absolute thirst there, saying, "Get in my belly, you are not running." And the BM coming out from the jungler of Karaoke Machine broke.
Yeah, I really don't see anything at this point stopping KMB from effectively ending the game. It's not truly over, but once they, run in and start wrecking the base, it's going to be ugly and really hard to come back.
I think we're both in agreement here that the real problem with this game is that mid lane LeBlanc from the side of from the Slumberland Nibblers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's what you said and what I was thinking. Galio objectively better. And it's not just Galio. There was other mid laners that were open that were still better to pick.
But it's just like LeBlanc. Galio is the most prime one because he also provides some bulk to it. And some defensive midline that you can have that still provides damage, as opposed to this LeBlanc, who just provides burst. And even so, she's probably one of the worst assassins right now because of the fact that her burst has that delay on it versus such a fast CC intense meta.
You're absolutely correct there. I mean, you couldn't state any more correctly if you wanted to. It's just, it's drafting, and sometimes those comfort picks are so just, you want to pick them. Like, that even if they're not right, that if you feel comfortable in a character, you just want to play it.
Most certainly, and that just playing it is losing them inhibitors now, as Augusto and ANT are jumping onto Waba. He's going to last a little bit, but the 3-man assault does manage to be too much. But now, Jim Cantor's going in. That's a Jax that gets caught up by the quickness. They're not wasting any more ults on that Jax, as Prodigy's now on a rampage. Sitting at 4-1-7, he would be the MVP if Jim Cantor wasn't playing like such a boss.
And, you know, we are going to see the third inhib go down here, which means the double super minion waves. I think this one is basically at a GG.
Oh, it isn't that. Oh my god, the shockwave there from Hiccup
man.
going in. Hiccup also manages to survive the tower shots. AMT looking to see if he can pick off the mid laner there. But it looks like it does end up being just a clean GG for the side of KMB. Finishing it up in 24 minutes, even faster than the last game.
Super quick game on the side that I predicted wouldn't be able to win early.
Most certainly. And again, we have to think that all these problems go back into the draft. I just feel like that,
Yeah. I mean, they did have the ability to do that, you know. If you look at that, oh wow, LeBlanc only had 99 CS there and just barely finished a Gunblade, noticing in the end game. But I mean, they do have that ability. They're guaranteed to game 3 because they won game 1. So, you know, they almost, maybe they were trying to style on them. I mean, again, radically different draft. Guarantee we're going to see a meta mid laner out of them this time. I would eat my hat that I'm not even wearing. I'll eat your hat.
Hey, you leave my hats alone.
I'll come eat your hat if they don't pick a meta mid laner.
Most certainly. Alright, so now we are going to go to... we are going to go to a short break, and we will be back with Game 3 between the Slumberland Nibblers and Karaoke Machine Broke. Dang, that name makes my tongue strangle itself.
The Super Flip Flip?
Oh, screw you.
I probably can't say it any better. I'm not even going to try.
And I almost forgot, ladies and gentlemen, hit the Silver Scrapes! And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here for Game 3 of the Slumberland Nibblers. Yes, I got it right. Versus Karaoke Machine Broke. How you doing, Tamed?
I'm doing good. I'm doing a lot better than SLN's last draft. If they don't want to be nibbling in Slumberland here soon and missing playoffs, they really need to step up their ability to play.
Don't forget, Champions League actually has one more week than the other leagues, so it goes to week 11.
Ooh. That's
So
extra spicy.
yeah, it's just that the winner of this will have a much better chance of getting into playoffs. I believe that to guarantee a spot in, you need 6 wins. So if KMB win this game, they secure a playoff spot guaranteed. Whereas the Slumberland Nibblers, if they win this, they can tie it up to make sure that they have as equal of a chance as KMB of getting into the playoffs. And considering who they face next week, let me do a quick check to see who each of these teams face next week. If their opponents are who I think it is, it could be very, very, very challenging depending on who it is. Yep. Karaoke Machine faces Lied, Cheat, and Steal, and Don't Feed Top versus the Slumberland Nibblers. Both teams expected to win their games next week, so this one will be a lot of momentum going into the playoffs.
Yeah, I casted LCS before. It looked like they had really good individually skilled players, but they definitely needed to work on like their macro and a little bit of team coordination. Still, I don't think that they're a team to sleep on. They definitely are. LCS, Lie, Cheat, Steal. They're definitely not going to be a free pass for them next week by any means.
Most certainly not. But Light, Cheat, and Steal, along with A and I, Don't Feed Top, and Big Ballers Consumers are eliminated from playoff contention. The spots up for grab right now are the ones between 5 and are the spots that exist between places 5 and 8, I believe. So we are going to see, say, Wood 5-5, Slumberland Nibblers, Risen's Most Wanted, and Karaoke Machine Broke as the 4 teams to try and fight over playoff spots right now. D-Rose has long clinched their spot. Henlo, 9X, and Itinium all have clinched playoff spots as well. A win for either 5-win team of Risen's Most Wanted or Karaoke Machine Broke tonight will result in a playoff berth being resulted. And we are seeing Risen's Most Wanted did get a 2-0, so it is a 100% BBC is eliminated from playoff contention, and Risen's Most Wanted has clinched a playoff spot. So right now, and Wood 5-5 managed to beat Team Atinium too. So right now, this playoff is wide open. So this game means so much. All right, so looking at the draft, what do you think?
I mean, definitely, I would actually almost call on them to play Galio this time. Or if not Galio, see if you can get the Talia or the Malzahar or anything that isn't LeBlanc mid. It's just what I'm hoping for this time.
Certainly. And also, I would like to mention to our Twitch chat that just because you have a low vision score doesn't mean that you are high rank. It just means you could have one-tricked your way up it. I mean, look at his Shin. Have you ever seen that guy's vision score? It's garbage. All right, so now we are going to see if we can get into draft here. Let me send out the message for the draft to start here. Sorry, I'm really hyped for this game. This means a lot.
This is actually my first time casting Champions where it's gone to a Game 3 out of 5 weeks.
Dude, you have no idea how long I've been waiting for this just because of the fact I've been casting D-Rose every game. I've been casting D-Rose, so it always is a 2-0. And we see Sejuani is the first champion off the board. Neither of these teams want to give up the leader of the Winter's Claw.
I mean, Sejuani, she's very easy to play. She's always dangerous. And, they got rid of the Gnar.
Sounds like my ex-girlfriend.
Oh my goodness. I thought they were going to actually get rid of the Thresh there, which they are going to. Oh, wow. So we're going to definitely have to see a radically different team comp. Ooh. So now is SLN going to take Rakan as their support? Is SLN taking Rakan as their support? This is interesting.
This is rapid fire. For those who are visually impaired, we have Sejuani, Gnar, and Thresh being banned away by the side of KMB with Xayah as their first pick. And we have SLN banning away Lulu, Skarner, and Zac. And, they lock in first pick Zilean.
Now, is that Zilean support or Zilean mid?
You talked about spicy before this series started. Boy, how about this for some spicy stuff?
Zilean's win rate in the mid and Plat Plus is the highest in the game far and away, but I'm still kind of scared.
There he is.
I like the Alistair pickup.
There's
That's
the cow.
definitely what I was calling for in the first game. I don't know about first pick Zillion. I know they didn't do the Rakan. They went for the Zaya Braum. So that maybe they were actually.
This is the first game that Braum hasn't been banned.
That's true. I almost wonder though if KMB was trying to bait SLN into taking Rakan and forcing it, like saying, "Hey, either you take it or we will," and then smurfing into Braum.
Most certainly. Also, when you get the chance, while there's a little bit of a pick, take a look at that picture I sent you regarding the new rune, and just think about that on Bruisers.
Yeah, that's gross. That's not going to go through as it is.
It better not. Not with 20% true damage over 4 seconds.
Yeah,
Jesus
20%.
Christ. Oh my god! We have a Kindred, ladies and gentlemen.
A Kindred? I haven't even seen Kindred in solo queue in a year.
I knew a player who put... And then Ivern, too!
What is happening?
Oh my god, if they lock this in, holy crap. We talked about Spicy. I told everyone this would be the series to watch this week. Bestrid, I told you so. Holy Ivern, Kindred, and Zillion.
So, are they going to pick sort of an immobile, like, tank, or not tank, but like sort of cannon ADC because they have the brush and the revive? Well, there it goes. That Kog'Maw ban is exactly what I was going to suggest, because Ivern can throw up the brush, Zillion can protect him, and Kog'Maw is already so scary as he is.
And it's Shogath and Jace.
Yeah, that's actually, I was thinking about how disgusting Kog'Maw would actually be with that comp, and the Varus, wow, the only other ADC, so those were great bans by KMB there, because if you think about it, Varus sitting in that brush, Varus getting revived by Zillion, Varus having the peel of an Alistair with that Rage Blade.
You know who there is?
And not letting them...
Jinx.
I mean, there's still a Jinx, you're correct. I mean, if they wanted to go for some more team damage with that Vlad, there's also still the Misfortune up.
I still can't believe we're seeing a Kindred versus an Ivern.
I actually like
this is patch 8.4. This is not patch 6.1. I'm sorry. I'm excited.
So they are going with the Orianna again. It's always safe. Orianna is never a risky pick.
It's
all
safe.
We have left now is top laners.
They need an initiation system. I think that if you're going to go with this right now, you can't pick a Malphite. There's too much magic damage. You need someone who can solidly initiate. I think that here, if you're going to pick someone, Sion. You have to go with Sion because the fact he's super safe, even into champions like Vladimir. And there it is. I hate the meme. I hate the freaking meme on my damn name. But at the same time, you have to look at Sion there. He's the best champion who right now you could pick for that situation.
So, Kalista, they're gonna get walk Draven. I was gonna say Kalista is not what I was expecting with this team at all. Morgana, ADC, okay.
No, they're just hovering stuff just to troll. And then I told you, Jinx. I called both of them.
That's perfect, and it was a great call because just that Ivern brush with Jinx's rockets is disgusting. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have.
It doesn't sneak its way into the meta a lot, but when she can just stand there and dart in and out of there, getting around that vision, getting around the abilities that can hit her, juking out Braum's Q is just nasty.
Oh, man, this is absolutely freaking ridiculous in terms of just the compositions of these two teams. This is, if you were going to look at a game to watch tonight based on compositions alone, this is the game to watch.
This is why I enjoy being part of Risen and not just the LCS. It's been a long-running complaint of mine that the LCS is basically the same 20 champions every patch, every game.
It really is. And
so here to a professional yet lower key organization like Risen gives us chances to cast, more professional players, but seeing way more interesting games.
Yeah, then this is, you cannot get more hype than this right now. You've got a Kindred and Scion versus a freaking Ivern and Jinx on the opposite side. In game 3, we blasted the Silver Scrapes for like 5 straight minutes. You've got me here on play-by-play. You've got Tamed on Color. You have KMB. You have SLN. This is the hype. Like, to quote Vegeta from DBZ Abridged, I am the hype. Except for I, in this case, is this game, this situation.
I love the TFS reference there. Big fan myself.
Oh, I met them about 3 weeks ago, and I got him to also say, actually, I can't say it on the stream, but blank loves cannons. Except for he said,
oh boy.
But then he also said, blanks love my Gallic gun too, give him that.
So, are you ready for the end of Super?
Yeah, I guess. It's had a great run. Well, the second half was a great run.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not ready for it personally. I want more.
Wait, looking at these games, at these compositions, what do you think each one really wants to try and do? Like, tell me about this.
I mean, it's hard to think with the Kindred, you know, obviously the map control, the marks and everything, but ultimately what they're looking for here is Scion to charge in and just cause some chaos. After he charges in, Orianna comes in right behind him. Like, right behind him. The timing has to be good. And then, you know, after that, Braum can, you know, do the Glacial Fissure right after that. So if they time that correctly, you know, Kindred and Xayah can stand back. You know, their Kindred's range is huge, but pretty good. So they can sort of stand back and blow them up out of this big team SLN is looking for more poke and then, like, more cunning initiation, like Alistair poking while Ivern lays down brush. You know, the Vladimir putting down his pole and Zilean bringing people back to life. So SLN's more of like a tactical comp, whereas KMB is just like a me smushy comp.
Yeah, I mean, so you're really right. Which one do you think will really take away with this game? Like, give me a solid winner out of these two.
A solid winner in terms of team or in terms of player?
Just give me the compositionally.
Compositionally, I think KMB has it. And I'm only saying that I do have a slight bias because I feel like SLN did a spicy draft last time and it did not work at all. Now, this draft is more traditional than the last one, but, you know, the Zilean's kind of a feast or famine mid. If Orianna can get ahead in CS and sort of bully the Zilean, or if they can get a gank on him pre-6, that basically makes him a one-button R. Same thing for Ivern. If the Jinx isn't fat, then Ivern throwing down that brush, he's just basically a body. So they have two characters that conditionally have to play really well. So just from an analytical standpoint, I have to go with KMB.
I also have to go with KMB just because I think that their draft is much more robust. I think it's much more even team composition. If even between the two junglers, I would much rather have an Ivern on my team than I would a Kindred. But at the same time, like, it just seems so selective. However, I do think that the potential carries from this are better for the side of SLN. If you looked at it in both games, we saw the 80 carry for SLN. Oh my god, I just forgot his name.
You're talking
Fox.
About
we saw
Fox.
We saw Fox like do extremely well in both games. And now we're sitting here and this is a composition designed for him to excel. So you really have to think it will be, can Fox carry this, or will the overall just composition of KMB win the day? That's the question here. Can SLN protect Fox, or will KMB win the day?
Well, if they want to protect Fox, I mean, the Ivern is a great start. That on-demand brush is almost unbeatable. It forces wards out. It forces you to poke into places you don't want to be. So, I mean, they definitely have the right idea going there. And, you know, Ivern can let Jinx take those early buffs too, or can let Zilean take the early buffs as well. So that's always a fantastic reason to have an Ivern jungle on your team.
It most certainly is. Plus, you have to think that without that Nunu pick opposite him, Ivern is much harder to sort of counter. Because if this had been a few weeks ago when Nunu was absolutely busted, then you'd have to think that it'd be just like you never pick Ivern because of the fact you could see a Nunu. I mean, heck, at that situation you probably could have even switch it over to ADC if you were feeling extremely ballsy, not necessarily bright, but super ballsy. But now in this situation, you really have to think that Ivern has a lot of benefits here.
Yeah, I'm looking for the linchpin personally to be the Zillion, though. Like, if Zillion plays really well, they win. If Zillion that flash and gets ganked to get back. Oof. I mean, the stun's omnipresent, it's always there, but great players like we have in Champions League are pretty good at dodging the stun as well. But one thing, you can also think about Alistar doing knockups and pushbacks into Zillion stuns, which basically allows you to delete, like the Kindred, delete the Xayah.
Most certainly. Also, I would like to point out that neither team has a really big deal of bulk. I mean, yeah, well, actually, no, I guess KMB does have a good bit of bulk with Braum Scion, but there's not a lot of bulk on the side of SLN. The Slumberland Nibblers really are just relying on... Oh, dang it. I'm sorry, Peep. I'm gonna have to witch at the Slumberland Nibblers for lining up out of order.
So, I think we need to get like a on-demand Microsoft Sam button, so we can just press it and have it programmed, so you can just be like Slumberland Nibblers,
Please.
so that neither of us have to say that. We just be like, and on the red side is the Slumberland Nibblers.
It sounds so robotic, but it would sound so much better than me choking over my own tongue half the time.
I could plug my Alexa in next to my microphone.
That would be good, but I'll pass there. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, but I'll try and pass for this. All right, and as we are loading into game, let's take a look at the skin game again. We see SLN with the 5 skin stack, and we only see 2 for this. I say we only see 1 skin missing for the side of Karaoke Machine Broke. Boo Busters! What is your deal, man?
Where's your skins, bro?
Where is your skins? I will have to give Augusto a little bit of crap, though, because that is a terrible Vladimir skin.
I was going to say, that is the absolute worst Vladimir skin ever made. I think, wasn't that one from like his 2010 release and hasn't really gotten anything besides a quick visual polish?
Something like that. It's not a good skin. All right, now as we are loading into the game, I will introduce the blue side here. Remember, everybody, this is the game 3. Between the Karaoke Machine Broke and the Slumberland Nibblers, sitting at 5 and 4 and 4 and 5 respectively. On the blue side, we have Karaoke Machine Broke with Waba in the top lane on the Scion. Oh god, the jokes. Jim Cantor on the Jungle Kindred. Hiccup on the mid lane Orianna. I am Prodigy on the AD carry Xayah. And Boo Busters on the support Braum.
And on the red side, as we get started here, we have Augusto on the Vladimir top. We have AMT on the Ivern Odd Pick Jungle. We have DieHard52 as the mid lane Zillion. Kankin as the super awesome Moo Cow. And we have the person who hopefully hopes to jinx us all, Fox X's on Jinx in the bot lane.
Most certainly. And oh, sweet, I can actually change that now. That's a... Thank you, Riot, for actually putting something good into the spectator.
And you can see here, look at the 5-man roam just going through their jungle, seeing if they can catch anybody out. Again, the same strategy. I mean, it's worked for them, so, you know, kind of like, why not?
Yeah, the only difference being that SLN always starts on the bottom side. They always want that hard leash for their jungler. They always stack 4 on the bottom side, 1 in the top. They never put any more than that. And they always put Augusto into that top bush. So it's never really going to work here. That's just not the kind of team that SLN is. But we also do see the minion destabilizer taken by the Zillion.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty clutch on him. I mean, it lets him get the early XP advantage with the tank, but it also allows him to one-shot casters at level 5.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's in lieu of the stopwatch, isn't it?
Yeah, he does not have a stopwatch on him right now. So, I mean, he does have that slow to sort of disengage as people come in, but I'm a little bit skeptical.
Yeah, I don't know about minion destabilizer. I know it's risen a lot in priority and pro play, but I've not really seen it at this level, and at the same time, I haven't... I don't know.
I think as Riot continues to nerf runes, the more fringe runes are going to be picked. Like personally, I run Minion Dematerializer on Talon now because his W, like his Fan of Knives, can't clear casters unless you have it. Like unless you have a huge lead, it'll always leave them with like 10 health.
Oh, we have some stuff going on over the Raptors. And of course, the KMB likes to keep it elsewhere as Augusto and Waba just keep toying with each other in that top lane.
Yeah, I have to give them both props. There hasn't been any kind of like passive thing. They've been trying to put on a bloodbath. It's exciting to watch, and you notice the camera gets stuck up there like a lot of the time because of what's going on up there all the time.
Concentrating Sion being one of the safest laners in the game, and Vladimir also being extremely super safe between the heals and the clear that he has. That's a little bit ballsy.
Duck under there.
That's a little bit ballsy to go back into Waba.
I was gonna say that was a nice little juke from Vlad there, but I mean you do expend the health to use that pull, and he's roughed up.
Yeah, that Sion, I want to say it's Roar of the Slayer, does have a lot of damage associated with it at early levels, and a lot of people underestimate how powerful that ability really is. Ooh, very good denial of farm there from Boo Buster.
Yeah, it was actually Riot Jat yesterday during the LCS casting who was commenting on how pro players are now maxing the Roar early just because of how lane dominant it is. In fact, Riot Jat yesterday was actually predicting that it would be nerfed, and he works there. So, I mean, I guess he's not. He's obviously on the analyst desk and not a balanced team.
I did play Sion about a year and a half ago. Early season. I'm sorry, it's actually almost 2 years ago. Early season 6, I started playing Sion a little bit for one of the teams I played. And even back then, you would max Roar of the Slayer first because it had so much damage at early levels. And it looks like we are going to see a fight here. This was slow but put down onto that. But those chompers just stop any sort of secondary engage from following up. There's not really much engage other than the Sion for the side of KMB.
No, and that's why I said they're relying on Sion to charge in, followed up by that Orianna vacuum. That's all they have.
Because, you know, the bone train has no brakes.
We're just taking a quick look at CS here. Orianna is winning mid slightly, as expected. Ivern in the jungle, again, not really surprising. Mid, or top's about dead even. They didn't line up properly, so...
I will say there's a gank coming up top. I'm sorry to interrupt here. Augusto is taken low, but he's going to flash out of that. He's going to get damage onto Waba. Waba getting taken a little bit low here for his liking, but at the same time, Augusto is about to have that. They're not going to catch him, though.
That was actually a very good play by Sion top there. The second that Vlad had the empowered Q.
I'm sorry, like that was super impactful, but that was just a very clean shield.
It was. But up top, he actually waited until Vlad had that empowered Q and flashed the second it came up, because that most likely would have been death, and if not death, it would have been Vlad healing back up to about 60% there, which he doesn't want either.
Yeah. Like I said, sorry about the interruption there. That was just a very clean shield, if nothing else. Like that one, it wasn't necessarily impactful, but it was very, very clean.
Absolutely. Brahm's another one of those champions that I'm never really mad to play with or against. He always has felt balanced to me. He never feels oppressive, and he's good. He's always good.
He is probably the best designed support, in my opinion, with Thresh in his current state being up there. Release Thresh was busted.
I can't really disagree with you.
Like, Release Thresh was super busted, but like Thresh and Braum, they're never totally irrelevant because of the shield and the hook. They're never totally broken at these stages where they have to be nerfed. It's just like, if a meta fits them, it's because of an item, not because of the champion.
Absolutely. But I would go as far as to toss out, Rakan, recent addition. He feels very balanced, and usually he's fun to have on your team, or he's actually fun to play against.
I think after those initial nerfs, Rakan's hit that point where he's kind of like Thresh in that you need some skill to play him, but at the same time, he is balanced at the moment. If you're good with him, you're good with him. If you're not,
absolutely.
you're not. Oh, and we do see an engage here. That train just go out onto Waba, but from Waba onto Augusto, but Augusto is able to chase him off without the kill. So we do see the heck is the name of that ability? That unstoppable onslaught being there. Sorry, guys. Like I said, despite your insisting I don't play Scion, so I only know Roar of the Slayer.
I do play Scion, and honestly, I've just always called it the Scion train.
I'll call it the Bone Train, and we do see a knock up there. We do see the choppers go down. That's a lot of damage onto Prodigy, but a very good shield coming out from Boom Busters. It's a good reason why this champion was banned for him. A stun going out onto Kankin. Kankin gonna get away, but he won't if Jim Cantor does. But First Blood goes over to Fox on the other side of the fight. I didn't even see that it was going down. Kankin might be taken down here, but he does get shielded out, but it doesn't matter. The shield actually goes onto Fox there, and Kankin does go down. And we do see a 1-for-1 here, but First Blood goes over to the side of SLN as Daisy's now chasing down Boom Busters. Gotta be careful here. That's a knockup. Oh, very careful. Oh, there's the root onto him, but the zap does not land. But the damage on the rockets is still coming out.
I get what he was going for there, but, you know, with Braum having that much mana, I can't really agree with the use of Daisy. Jinx isn't 6 here, so we're probably not going to see the ult threat. So the bottom should be just kind of is what it is at this point.
She just hit 6.
And it looks like, yeah, they got out of kill range as she was hitting 6.
That was a close one. Overall, already a fairly exciting game. A lot of action going down, but those were the first 2 kills of the game, and I didn't even see Fox get that kill until it had showed up on my screen that First Blood had gone down.
Yeah, what happened was he actually recommitted. He flashed down. He went from bush to bush through the flash, switched gun types, and just started blasting.
Yeah, but also, AMT is in trouble now. He does have flash, so he will be able to get out of this. But at the same time, I don't know if he's really going to be able to take away that Rift Scuttler from the Kindred.
That's looking pretty safe right now, especially with Scion there to zone out. Yeah, that's going all the way to Kindred, which is good vision, you know, with the Herald being up here in less than a minute.
Not just that, but with the reworks to Kindred's passage, isn't the Rift Scuttler one of the more essential monsters you want to take?
It is. Yeah, when the mark's there, that actually helps Kindred out tremendously.
Doesn't it go now, Raptors and Wolves, and Krugs, and then Gromp and Scuttler. And
yeah, I was going to say, I think it does round out at Scuttler. I may be wrong there. I'm not a big Kindred player.
Ooh, and that's a double knockup onto Boo Busters, but there is damage going out to Fox and Kankin, so they can't really stop the engage. There is the Sanguine, the Tides of, that's not Tides of Blood, what's it called? It's called Hemoplague. Hemoplague going down onto that wave there to help clear out. Yep. I don't really agree with that use of the ultimate.
No, I agree with you there. Yeah, Hemoplague is the alt, Tides of Blood is the E.
Certainly, and we are seeing AMT go down on it, but the train misses wide, and Daisy is going in onto it, but Augusto and AMT are just nailing Waba, and that's going to be a heal up for him. Waba is going to die, and because of that flash, he's going to be too far to get anything. With the Ramble, I want to say it's Ramble Roots, maybe? That stuns him up. They're not able to get a return kill, so that is a kill onto Augusto, on Waba's Scion. God, I'm stuttering for this.
Yeah, and it's... I'm kind of questioning the desire or reason for Scion to ult Vlad there. You know, I mean, you know he's going to pull. You know, at this point in the game, Vlad's pulls about a 15-second cooldown.
Yeah, and right now we are seeing that engage in the bot lane. A lot of damage goes down on the Fox. He's going to go down here to Jim Cantor. So that is a mark onto Kindred, I believe. And that is a teleport canceled, I believe, from Augusto?
Yeah, Augusto did lose the TP there. Zillion still has his up.
And I believe Waba canceled his as well. So that's both top laners with teleport down now. Diehard with the teleport up, and this is going to be a Cloud Drake over to, or it might just be a kill over to the Kindred, but Diehard is able to get away, as they are going to try and secure this Cloud Drake. They have to be careful not to let the Zillion bomb go off, and he could take, he doesn't go in with it. I think he could have gotten it there, but at the same time, now this Ivern is in trouble. The Ignite is down onto him, as Kankin is trying to protect his jungler, but he's not going to get it, and he's going to possibly die for his efforts. And it looks like now, this Kindred's actually in a bad spot now with the rocket taking him down. Jim Cantor just overstayed his welcome, and this Jinx is now wailing onto them. But there's a Zillion here. He could double bomb, and he double bombs the Xayah. That's a lot of damage onto her. But at the same time, Waba is here, so they can't commit to a full fight. Whereas
and KMB's almost out of mana on everybody but Sion at this point too.
Most certainly. So they do disengage. It was a 1-for-1 overall, I believe, with a Cloud Drake on top of that. So overall, advantage does go to KMB, but all across the map, it is almost completely tied in terms of gold.
Absolutely. It's less than 100 gold separates the teams right now. You know, the Cloud Drake isn't that big of a deal.
Most certainly is not at the moment, and we are seeing a fight in the mid lane with Diehard and Hiccup being taken low, but Hiccup has no mana. He might be able to get it, but does have the Chrono Shift on him. Does get that, does have the flash, but then gets taken down by the counter flash. Very clean by Hiccup.
And another thing I want to commend KMB here for is, you know, when that Drake was up and Zillion threw that bomb on there, that was actually lined up to be a steal. A very good one. But they all stopped.
Well, certainly they didn't. It looks like there's some more fighting in the top lane. Oh, and I missed it completely. Like, my screen froze for a second. Or at least it did on my monitor. AMT took down Hiccup. My apologies there. I just completely missed that because my monitor froze.
Ivern just walked in and just, like, doink. That was it. Just one doink.
Doink and dead. So it looks like Jim Cantor is now there to defend the mid lane. So my apologies for that, everybody. So we are seeing a little bit more trading there. So yeah, I don't know what happened there. My monitor's been acting up a little bit tonight. I'm gonna have to get that checked.
Let me just say you didn't miss much. Orianna overextended. AMT just walked in and it was just like, hi, bye. Just like, thwack. A single thwack and it was ended.
Yeah, and also what we're looking at here is we're looking at a fight possibly starting the bot lane, but that Kindred is nearby. So you have to consider that this might not be the best idea. The Alistar does knock him back. That is a good disengage from him. But right now, he has no summoner spells. A teleport coming in from, I believe, Diehard. Yes, it is. So we now do have a 3v3, but it's going to be a quick 5v5, and I'll say a 5v3 in that bottom lane, because that Vladimir, while he does have TP, I don't think he can get there in time, and Wava does charge in, but the train does not hit anybody. So now it's just going to be a 5-man push onto that bottom side. There's no TP coming in from Augusto. This tower is going to fall before that Vladimir can push that tower in. So this is really kind of just a free tower. Very good macro from the side of KMB.
Good macro indeed. Yeah, now this allows them to set up vision, you know, without the tower plunks there. But I mean, you know, the Sion, I think that ult was basically an intentional whiff. He realized what was going to happen, communicated with his team, and canceled it out.
Also, one thing I'd like to look at is the gold lead right now that's being generated because of it. We're seeing 1,000 gold lead in the mid lane for Hiccup over Diehard, purely based on CS and that tower.
Here we go with the, looks like they are going to take Herald, though, actually, as a comeback play.
And it does look like Prodigy and Bootbusters want this fight. They're going in on Kankin. Jim Cantor's here. That's a lot of damage onto the support. And Kankin is going to go down as a Fox does get out of dodge. And that puts them up about a 1.5k gold. So this is going to be another push onto this bottom lane tier 2. So this is good macro from the side of KMB. They're just moving to the map. They're putting their pressure in this bottom lane where they know they need to put it. Again, we said in the game, all the pressure.
You know, they traded a kill there for the Herald. I like the positioning on the Herald. They're using it behind the tower. So they're basically trading the kill for a Herald and a tower. So I think that's fine, especially considering it was Alistar that died. So that's a good play, and you can see that they're back to less than 1,000 gold. They're only about 800 gold down now.
Yeah, and at the same time, you have to consider that this Herald is gonna... No, it's not gonna die past. Just stops the mains. Wait, did Shelly just dash backwards?
Is Shelly okay? Shelly Fitzgerald, the smelly Rift Herald? She must have seen a minion back there or something. I saw that, though. I don't want to proclaim it as a bug without deeper understanding.
I mean, she is a bug.
But, oh God. No. Oh god, may Malzahar's voidlings swarm you in your sleep.
Dude, I've been spending the last 2 weeks doing nothing but my lore power levels for Reddit. Let me make a bug joke.
I'll allow it.
Then again, I've been writing so many bad jokes, I need a decent one to be able to say. That one wasn't bad compared to what I've been writing. Jesus Christ. We are seeing them pressure onto this top lane tier 1. They're not going to really be able to pressure this because of the fact, counter this pressure because of the fact that there's just more people there. We are seeing Diehard put a lot of pressure onto Hiccup in the mid lane. It is taking them a little bit low. We are seeing a fight here in the top lane. And that was a good engage there from the Alistar. Not really good in the fact that everyone had flash on the side of KMB. There's a lot of damage being put out by KMB and a lot of damage being put out by the side of SLN. There's a lot. That Jinx, you gotta be careful. And that Rocket, oh, if that didn't, oh, it's so close.
That Feather Storm.
Oh,
that
the
Feather
Braum
Storm.
got locked down. Gotta be careful here. That's probably gonna be a dead Braum here in a second. And Augusto does get Boo Buster. And now KMB is on the run. They are just being chased down, and that's going to be a kill onto Waba. And he's probably going to get taken down here too. It's just a headbutt, just for good measure, saying it's like, hey, you're dead. Now back the hell up. And they're not pushing for that top lane tier 2, despite a low Orianna and a Kindred opposing them.
That was really cleanly played there by them. And I think, they don't want to risk just the Orianna and Kindred blowing somebody up. I think they want to just, feel like that they're back into the game. Mountain Drake is up right now, shifting over to that. They can get this mid-tier 1 probably more easily than that other tier 2 over there.
I don't know.
And they are going to rotate to Dragon.
I just don't know about this. I mean, I still think that getting that tier 2 tower and then rotating over to Dragon was the better idea, because now the Dragon isn't even fully secure, because Sion has teleport. Everyone is up from the side of KMB. So this is actually a much more risky Dragon than was the tower at the time, because there were only 2 people up. And the tower, you had a massive minion wave, you had a Jinx, you had everyone alive there.
But you have to think when you have that Alistar ult too, shifting straight over to Dragon, Alistar's ult with the true damage late game, he can basically run in without minions, laugh at the towers, and kill the towers at the same time.
I don't know, I think that the Dragon was a good call, but I think that the not taking the tower and then moving over to Dragon was a bad call.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like, I called it. I thought that they were going to shift over to the mid-tier 1. I thought they were just going to knock that out, play some vision, down around their Raptors, and then just bust out the Dragon, so they didn't even do that. But again, maybe some miscommunication, or maybe they're just prioritizing getting back in the game and being safe right now, because they still are down 1,000 gold.
Yeah, I mean, they are, but the towers would have equalized that out. Just getting that tower gold on everybody there, that was 4 members, 225 gold apiece. That's almost 1,000 gold right there.
It's true, but unless we have comms from them, we can do a post-game interview, ask them after the game, hey, what was up? So if we want to bring somebody in, we can actually ask them about that.
Oh, there's a sneaky Baron coming out from the side of KMB. They're taking this down quick between the Kindred and the Xayah. And there's nothing. There's no known there. And Jim Cantor has the ultimate, so he's not going to die here. Now there's Boo Busters. This is going to be a sneaky Baron at 20 minutes. And that's a Baron going away for absolutely nothing.
Ooh. And again, look at that vision. Look, it's all blue. And they have it deep up there. They have it in the tri-bush and everything. I'm really surprised, though, that they didn't at least try to poke. It looks like they are going to take the bottom tier 1, or tier 2, if they can keep pushing there safely. But it's like, I'm just a little confused there as to why they didn't even at least poke over that way or even consider it when only 2 were visible on the map.
And this is the best warding game for the team of, I would say, for SLN as a team overall so far. Yes, we are seeing AMT ward a little bit less, but that's because he's Ivern. He's got less wards to work with. So you really have to think here, what is going on in the fact that, why did they let over that Baron, and how did they let that happen? So now, the ball is in KMB's court.
Yeah, I'd like to see, at the end of this Baron, we'll count up how much power play they had. They currently, after the Baron, they had about a 1,700 gold lead. So after the buff fades off, let's go ahead and recap and see, what they get out of this power play. If anything, it might not even go well for them.
Maybe not. Jinx is good at clearing Baron minions. I do not believe the Baron buff had gone through yet. I don't think the Baron and Elder Drake buffs go through until next patch.
No, Or no, they have. They're live, but it's
They
not the first Baron.
they are
It's
live. Okay.
Yeah, it scales up harder over the duration of the game now, and then additionally, each one is progressively more.
Okay.
So like the first Baron is basically Baron as you know it. The second Baron is stronger, and if there's a third Baron, it's redonkulous.
It's harder, better, faster, stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's like 70 AD, 60 AP. It's insane what Baron can do now. And like I said, those caster minions get a cannon minions get a 300% buff.
Yeah, and you have to look at this now. They're rotating again down to the bottom side. KMB just out macroing their opponents at this point between that Baron call, which was absolutely brilliant, and this put just rotating around the map, pushing where they can, knowing what lanes you can push down in. Also, you're seeing Jim Cantor up in the top lane. He's just wailing away at that tower. He's taking it down to about 10% health. On the next wave against the Vladimir, he'll be able to take that down, you have to think.
Yeah, they're absolutely playing this power play correctly. You know, they've extended their lead from 1,700 to about 3,000 now. So far, the power play is 1,500 in their favor. I mean, the buff isn't gone yet. They still have about a quarter of the buff or equivalent of a full wave of Baron minions coming yet. And it looks like, I don't even know if they can contest this mid tower.
There's really no ability to contest it unless you go with an all-in 4v4 in this situation, and you can't really do that with the Brawl. It's another tower going down.
Yeah, and Kinder's doing an awesome job keeping Vlad pinned there up at the top, too, but it looks like they might rotate over to him finally.
Well, Vlad's also pretty bad at taking down Baron minions because of his full AP, and oh, this is going to be a fight here, probably. Let's go with Waba. He's deep in it. You're a little bit deep there, my friend. And a Glacial Fissure goes down onto Kankin. But Jim Cantor does manage to take the shot for Waba. But the Braum goes down still. And Kankin saves Waba for a few seconds. And now Fox is just running rampant onto this game. Wait, what? Why are you not focusing on Fox dynamic, Cam? And we are seeing Fox go in. Fox is probably going to get Prodigy here with the slow. No! Kankin knocks it out of the way, but Kankin does take down Prodigy, and that might turn this game around.
Yeah, their Baron power play there was about 4,200 gold at the end, which is now reduced to 3,000 gold. So overall, they only got about 1,500 gold. I mean, obviously, you can't understate how valuable the towers are, and the fact that there's a top is slow pushing. But they really did turn around that power play there at the end, which is what they needed to stay in this game. You know, kind of like keep the playoffs viable and really want to get in and succeed, which is, again, why it's a good call that we cast this game today.
Most certainly. I am super glad that we decided to call this game, because this series overall has been a lot closer than we expected. I'd say closer than anyone could have anticipated, I think.
Infernal coming up here in just a few seconds.
Oh, this is a juicy dragon. You have to think that this will be contested. And Augusto in a bad spot. He does pull out. So that will be a pull that might not be available for the dragon fight. We do
and remember,
see that Jim Cantor...
Vlad does not have his ult yet. He just used it a few seconds ago to stop the top push against Kindred.
You are correct. And the Jinx and Zillion are coming in. But Augusto, he's in a bad spot. And then so is Kankin. But then so is Prodigy. Prodigy is on the wrong side. Waba's getting taken down there. I would say Kankin and Augusto just tanking up a lot of damage as Die Hard and Fox are just trying to do that. But then Augusto gets taken down. Waba gets taken down. So does Kankin. And the side of KMB are just routing this fight. But they forgot. Fox is still alive. The damage is still there. He's going to just be pushing this the whole time. I believe they get the Drake there. Yes, they do. But at the same time, this is going to be a mid-tower over to the side of SLN just because of how much tower pushing that Jinx has. And that almost is a kill onto the Kindred. And they have to be careful. Boombusters has to be super careful else he will get taken down. Hiccup and Prodigy have to be careful because that Jinx will just all in them and she will absolutely destroy them. That is a Jinx that now has 2 more kills and she is sped up. When that minion wave pushes up, that is going to be a mid lane tier 2 as well because of how fast that Jinx can take down towers. And that's a TP onto the minion. Overall, that is 2 towers, just a massive turnaround in a protect the Fox composition.
Absolutely, that's a fantastic job by them there. You know,
they're going to get 3!
They're going to get 3, and you know they have a full comeback in gold basically at this point.
Whew, this is a lot going on. Continue.
I was going to say they basically turned the power play into a nothing. You know, I mean, they have a lane, they have top lane slow pushing, they have bot lane slow pushing, right? Well, bot lane's actually wave crashing. And I mean, the map is basically their oyster at this point. They get to pick when the next fight starts. It'll probably be at Baron, which is going to spawn in about 30 seconds. Remember, the second Baron now is going to be disgusting. Super buff cannon minions. We're looking at about 45 to 50 AD and AP at this point, as opposed to the normal 24. So that's like adding a free item to everybody on your team. You get the empowered recall for the reset. You can't ignore the Baron. It's too important at this point. It's going to decide the game, in my opinion.
Most certainly. And one thing that you have to consider here about this game is that this composition of KMB really doesn't have much of a way to get to Fox. If he gets a single kill, Sion's not really going to be able to stick on top of him. He does have Flash coming up soon, not soon enough for the Baron, but at the same time he's got Flash enough, and he's got the Zillion ult on top of him. It's really hard for them to burst him down properly.
It is. And, you know, getting rid of Kog'Maw was the right idea, but it's like you called Jinx right away. They should have been thinking of that. Because I thought about Varus, but Jinx does get overlooked a lot, but she's one of the hardest hyper carries, if not the hardest in the game, right, with Kog'Maw and Twitch. But, I mean, Twitch just got dumpstered recently, so...
Yeah, I just felt like Varus was not as good of a ban as Jinx because of just the potential in those hyper carry compositions for it to take down. Like, that is a Sion that is like one shot took down almost 20% of Jim Cantor's health.
Yeah, I was going to say, and just look at this. She's running at them. She is the ADC and is just blatantly, flagrantly charging in.
Yeah, and plus the fact that, wait, she doesn't have any heal, so this is dangerous.
Does have the red buff, which isn't a heal, but, you know, obviously
she needs life
the red
steal.
buff. Definitely. But, I mean, look at that damage at this point. You don't need lifesteal if you can kill all 5 before they can kill you.
Well,
and
a
here comes the
Bloodthirster
Baron.
wouldn't hurt. A Bloodthirster most certainly would not hurt, neither would a QSS, but it does look like they are starting up the Baron. But this is going to be a relatively healthy Baron for them. And then Sion does go in, but Waba's all alone at the moment. They've zoned it off. Diehard is over there, but he's getting chunked down. Augusto's getting chunked down, but Fox is on the other side. He has already taken out Waba, but he gets knocked into Fox. Waba is just wailing on them now, but Prodigy is over there, and that's a lot of damage onto them. A whipped Orianna Shockwave, and a whipped Featherstorm, and a Blade Caller combo does result in them getting taken down. Fox has a lot of damage done to him. Well, Fox is cleaning up here. That's a 2 kills already. Ooh, Hiccup almost got him there. But the fact is, between Ivern and Alistair, that's a protected Jinx. You cannot kill that Jinx as an Orianna. A 4 for 2 in favor of, what am I trying to say? A 4 for 2 in the favor of the Sunderland Nibblers.
That was insane there, how well they protected that too. And you could even see that Zillion baited. He used the ult on himself when I think the other team was expecting it to go in.
That Baron does get got, but at the same time, that's a Sion coming in. He has Home Guard. That's a Jinx that could get killed. That is also an Ivern that is in trouble. So right now you have to be careful if you are the side of SLN. That's 3 members with Baron. You gotta protect them.
Yeah, unless they find a way to answer, we're at about a 1,500 gold advantage now, when at one point they were down almost 4,000. I mean, unless they find a way to answer this Jinx, this game is over. Jinx is gross. I mean, attacking the Braum through Braum's shield and still losing 10% of his health. Like, what are you doing? That's insane. Like, the crazy explosive burst that Jinx can do.
Mm-hmm. And now she does have the armor-piercing item, so she will just shred through both Braum and Sion. The problem is she doesn't have any heal to really compensate for that, except for the innate heal that she gets from her runes. So,
but does she need it with how fast she's ripping people apart?
I really think she does, because she almost got ripped apart herself in that last fight. She got taken down to about 15% health, so you really have to consider that if that Jinx does get targeted, that the game is over. There is no wave clear that can stop any sort of major push.
You're correct there, and it's...
in comparison to the just pushed by the Zion Orianna,
I mean, we also do have the ability for... I mean, look how fast Jinx farms. It has almost 300 CS here. So, I mean, there is that ability that if Jinx wants to heal, Jinx can just go clear a couple waves and then buy a Bloodthirster.
Most certainly, we are seeing the macro of KMB come into play, as they are going to go for this mid lane tower while the side of it. And they're going to go for the... They're going to end! They're going to try and end here! I think... Yeah, or not. Okay, never mind. I was hyping that all up for nothing. They were just trying to push there. But on the other side of the map, what might happen is we might see Augusto take a bottom lane tower. He might be able to back in time, but he might not.
No, Vlad's gonna get out of there. Vlad does a lot of damage, but his when his E's on cooldown, his wave clear isn't that good. Or is he gonna?
He does have the TP, so he can SOAS. And he's also got Baron recall, so he has the time.
Yeah, it looks like he is gonna go for it.
Again, he has the time, and they've got to push down mid lane. Waba is in trouble. He's locked up, and that is a Jinx that will shred him to absolute shreds. Augusto also getting shred at the moment. So really, this actually does not help the Kindred. This just helps the Vladimir, who can burst her down after the fact. That was massive mistake.
Yeah, the Kindred ult there was just kind of questionable as to what was going on.
That ultimate, I think, single-handedly might have ended the game. I believe that if Jim Cantor had saved that and instead had gone for the kill on Augusto, that the game...
Or, even honestly could have just sacked the tower and rejoined his team.
Yeah. Because at this point, the only major wave clear is the Orianna. And, oh, Boo Busters. Boo Busters, my friend. You're in trouble. Just taken down to, like, a quarter health from 75%.
Look at this. Just focus on that cannon minion. Every time it hits the tower, it's doing about 5% of its health. And that's only the second Baron.
Yeah, and look what it did in the top lane. That Vladimir, that split pushing Vladimir, has taken it down. And Jim Cantor is going up, but I don't think he realizes what's on its way. Jesus, the Jinx. Late game, Jason. The Glacial Fissure does go down. Augusto does do the pull. The Shockwave mixes Jinx. Waba's getting wailed on. So is Augusto, but Augusto heals up. Prodigy's in the bad spot. Waba does go down. And Waba might get taken down. Fox is just like, I am the team. I am the front line. I am the damage. I am everything. Just running out in front of the enemy.
Yeah, that inhibitor's going to go down. And that'll just cancel that out. I mean, if Jinx wasn't gross enough picking that Infernal before this fight, just, oh my gosh.
I mean, if you just look at the Drakes right there, that is so influential over to the side of, I'll say that those two Drakes, that second Drake matters of Cloud versus Mountain in this late game.
I mean, Jinx is coming up on 300 attack damage. I mean, they're 10-1 and 5 at this point. That's not just a carry. That's like, they're going to have to go see a physical therapist because their back's going to hurt that bad from carrying.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't consider, act like the rest of the team hasn't been doing anything.
Oh, absolutely not.
It's just everyone has participation in 12 kills or more, except Augusto. ANT has a higher kill participation than even does Fox.
Yeah, it's just wild how well that they're doing in protecting, but if you have to give the props to one player, I give it to the Jinx so far, because not only are they being protected, but they're taking advantage of the protection. They know exactly where their team's going to be. They're positioning themselves for success every single fight.
And also, we finally see that QSS come out, and that Jinx is sitting on about 700 gold now. I think you only need about 2,400 to complete the Mercurial Scimitar.
Mercurial, yes.
From the Quicksilver stash. I think you need about 2,400 gold. So that's only about another, what, about 1,700 left? Which she's already up to 1,000 again.
Look at this. Look at this. This is obscene how fast Jinx can farm.
They're going to go for a base race. The ping's on the base for the side of KMB. They're going for it. And SLN knows it. SLN is backing to match them. Match this base race. And this is not a 5v5 that the side of KMB wants right now. So this base race, Jinx is not here yet. Jinx, Fox canceled his back earlier, and now he's just joining the fight. But Jim Cantor's already about to fall. The Kindred ult goes down, and here comes Fox as the damage goes out. Takes down Prodigy. Is about to take down Boo Buster. Takes down Boo Buster. Cantor goes down. Hiccup goes down. That's a... Oh, not yet. I'm sorry. And this is... Hiccup's going to go down. This is a quadra kill. Will it be a pentakill? Will it be the penta? No, it's not the penta. The Scion does get to recall.
Look at that double TP. That's going to end the game.
Yeah, that is going to end the game. Into that mid lane. The Scion is good, but he doesn't have the clear to be able to stop that massive minion wave. All the while that base race is going on, that's just a massive amount of damage onto those towers. That Scion actually might get the Vladimir. He does have the Q coming up in a second, though, but at the same time, just a very good win there by the side of the Slumberland Nibblers. Spearheaded by Fox, supported by ANT there. What a game. What a series.
You know, I actually, despite them losing, I want to give KMB props there. Well played, and good job trying. You know, they didn't give up. They had to come up with a strategy. They weren't going to out. Jinx was too well protected, and they realized it. And at that point, a lot of teams would just say, "Hey, I'm going to throw my arms up and just." You ever get in that situation in games where you're kind of like turtling in your base? You're just kind of like seeding objectives, seeding vision. They're like, "No, this matters. This game matters. This season matters. We have to try." So rather than just sitting there and inevitably losing a team fight, they tried to make a play. So KMB, pride to you.
Most certainly. And here we do have to pick an MVP. Who do you think the MVP is of the series?
I mean, considering how Fox played all 3 games, even during the loss, it has to be Fox. And I mean, 14-1
He
with
dealt almost as much
18,000 gold.
He dealt almost as much damage as his entire team combined that game.
Yeah, that was absolutely ridiculous. I mean, and even in the game where they were down, I mean, Fox did an awesome job there playing. So if they wanted to pop in for the post game, I would gladly. I'd like to ask about that one decision there too, in the mid.
Most certainly, we will ask about that along with other things, just like what about this comp. We will take a short break. We will play some music, and you know what? We're gonna have an interview here with the members of the side of SLN who have now tied up KMB, who are now sitting at 5-5 and are looking to get into the playoff picture. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Hypertension, still here with Tame, and we are here joined by... DieHard52, the captain of the Slumberland Nibblers, and by Fox Axius. I believe I pronounced that correctly, please?
Yep.
Yes, you did.
Awesome! All right, so yeah, we have them here. MVP, captain of winning team. How's it feel, guys?
Feels
Pretty
great.
good.
Really, really good. Like I said, just it's really good when you're able to get off of a loss streak. Teams able to come back together, play well as a team, and being able to get a W.
Most certainly. And one thing I would like to talk about before we move any further is the playoff picture for the Champions League. With the win of Risen's Most Wanted tonight, they, I believe, auto-qualify for playoffs. So 5 teams, I believe, are locked in for playoffs. If it is a 6-team playoff, then that means that there's only 1 spot left. And per you guys, I believe that y'all have the win over Wood 55 and Karaoke Machine Broke, if I remember correctly. Yes?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yes,
Yeah.
so that would mean y'all
Well, I would hope they just played them.
Well, I was mainly going for Wood 55. I couldn't remember whether or not y'all had said that y'all won or not. Then for a second, it does look like y'all did 2-0 them, so y'all have an advantage over both of them. So if y'all win next week, I believe that would mean that y'all automatically qualify for the playoffs. How does that feel?
Good. Also, I'm pretty sure it's top 8 teams make it to the playoffs.
All right, well, if it's top 8 teams, then the playoffs are already decided, and I'm just wasting a lot of breath.
Okay.
But yeah, y'all would also get the win in terms of seeding, and instead of facing, like, say, being 8th place and having to face D-Rose, which, let's get real, nobody wants to do.
I mean, we've almost beat them last week. We were on the Nexus.
Oh yeah, we had a game where we took both Nexus turrets and both inhibitors, and we still managed to lose the game.
Yeah.
So that contributed to somewhat of the mental boom I'm talking about. We finally got off of it though.
Well, then y'all should be considered upset contenders. I believe that Taint has a question that he wants to ask you.
Sure.
Well, I have 2 actually. Exius, did you pick? Were you gonna do Kog'Maw if like Kog'Maw didn't get banned?
So basically, when we were talking about this in Champion Select, our jungler has been wanting to play Ivern like the entire tournament, but we haven't found an opportunity to bust it out yet. And an old legacy thing with this team is that we'll bust out the Jinx Ivern and we'll just run it back from time to time. And so I just told them, you know what? It's time to run it back for the classic Slumberland Game 3 Jinx. Run it with the Ivern, and we'll go for it. And then they were just kind of talking about how, you know, what if they ban Jinx, which was pretty unlikely, but it's a possibility. In that case, I was going to play the Kog'Maw, just because that's more standard in that composition. But I just personally really favor Jinx.
That's what I
Careful
think,
not
it's
to
like-
reveal any strats.
We're fine, dude. We can handle it. It's okay.
All right.
We have more strats in the back.
We got plenty of strats.
I was just
Good
thinking,
ones and bad ones, but we got strats.
It's just crazy, like the synergy between Ivern and Jinx, just being able to like dip in and out of that bush. Like Ivern has, you know, the brush on the man, and you're just like in and out, just like the stutter stepping, attacking so quickly. It's a strategy you don't see often, but it's actually really cool. So props on that. The other question I had for you guys was, it was one that that Hypertension kind of had as well. Like in the last game when you guys, you know, you had that good play and you had the ability to take the top tower, the 2nd tier, and then I called that you guys were going to go like rotate over to the mid tier 1 and take that because it was easier and less steep. But then you guys just kind of like attacked the 2nd tier like twice, walked over to the mid and like put up some brush and then went down to Drake. Like what was the calling that was going on then?
So basically, once that fight happened, we were kind of talking about, okay, what can we do here? And I think we killed 2 people, and 3 people are still up, and they
Other way
had
around.
to.
Other way around. 3 people were killed, 2 were still up.
Okay,
Yeah, it was 2 up.
And even those 2 who were up, I'm pretty sure they needed to back off because they're probably reasonably low. But I know that our top wave was in a bad spot to contest the T2 and top lane. And then by the time I realized that we didn't have the wave pressure to be able to take the T2 top, you know, we kind of talked about, okay, let's rotate over to mid lane, try to take the T1, which would be really big for opening up the map. But by that time, Orianna was able to get back into the mid, or somebody else was there. Their death timers are coming back off, and I was trying to keep in mind, okay, so we need to also make sure that we're prepping waves and getting our recalls off in time. So by the time we rotated over there, the death time was just too short. But we did realize, because they actually were behind in the rotation, we were able to take Dragon for free, and as long as we didn't fight there, then we were okay.
I think it's one of those things where we have like caster's advantage.
Huh?
Like, because we could see their actual 2 players were like completely back at their base buying, And I think that was something that like we could see as casters. It's hard to see as players because it's like you said, you don't know where they are. Like you assumed that they had backed off, but I mean nobody ever wants to get sucked into an Orianna vacuum under a tower, which can be gross. So I mean I do respect that, and I just wanted to clarify that because you guys were playing so clean that game, and that was the only play that I was like, as a caster, I'm like, what's up here? But yeah, thanks for clearing that up. That's all I have for you guys. You guys did really well. I appreciate that I got to cast you guys, and have an awesome day.
I have a question.
Yeah.
All right, given your potential playoff situations, the teams you guys could end up facing, all right, you won't face anybody else in the bottom four. That is a guaranteed because of the fact that Risen's Most Wanted and Team Atinium play next week. So one of them is guaranteed to get 7 wins and take the number 4 spot. 9X won tonight. They're guaranteed to take 7 wins. Of the teams, you're guaranteed also, if you win next week, you're guaranteed to finish above both Wood 55 and Karaoke Machine Broke. I don't remember if you guys beat either Team Atinium or Risen's Most Wanted.
Yeah, they both beat us.
They both beat you. Okay, so you guys would be placed below them. So you would most likely be placed either 6th, 7th, or 8th. Out of the 3 teams, 9X, Henlo, and D-Rose, which one do you think you'd want to face the most?
D-Rose, so you can beat them this time.
Ooh.
The D-Rose matchup wasn't actually too bad. I think the only team, and I could just have faulty memory here, that I like personally know we struggled against was Henlo, I think.
Yeah.
But it could be wrong.
Yeah.
So
When I cast
is
Henlo,
probably
they
the
shredded
last team
them.
I want to match up against.
Yeah, I would say Henlo being one of those teams that you have to win next week. If you win next week, you can avoid Henlo and will be matched up against 9X, I believe.
Yeah, and I don't remember how the 9X matchup went, but like I said, we went through that string of like 4 or 5 matches where we just like weren't playing well together as a team. But I think when we do have a clear condition as to what we want to do as a team, we tend to play a lot better, and that does make us a lot more of that dark horse team.
All right, I do have one more question before we close out for the night. That second game draft.
Ooh.
No, hold up and let me stand up, get on a soapbox rant here. Okay. You see that they have the front lines, and you pick 2 assassins in this meta.
So
What the hell, guys?
basically, we have a Jax one trick, or he's at least a Jax main. He plays other things, and then Diehard plays LeBlanc in the mid lane. And kind of a throwback again, another one of our strats is that we kind of like the 1-3-1 composition. So we knew that if we break bottom lane early and then move our bot lane into mid, we can wave clear there pretty effectively. And then we have advantageous side lane matchups with LeBlanc into Orianna, and theoretically Jax into Darius, as long as Darius doesn't get too far ahead. And the strategy there is basically to just play 1-3-1, not to team fight the rest of the game. Let Tristana build static shiv BF first and wave clear mid lane, while you let LeBlanc and Jax end the game for you and abuse the side lane matchups. But the problem is that when that composition gets behind early, and if you're losing those solo lanes, split pushing doesn't work when you're behind. So Darius had a really good TP into bottom lane early, which basically screwed our entire composition. And then because we got behind mid lane too, it was just pretty much a wrap at that point pretty early into the game.
Most certainly was. All right, I was just wondering about that because that draft just seemed very screwy to me. Also, like I'm not really a big fan of a 1-tank composition in this meta without when at least that second off tank doesn't get very bulky. Unlike a Vladimir, Jax doesn't build that many tank items very early. Jax, I say Vladimir at least built a lot of health on his items.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I was just questioning that decision to go double assassin 1 tank in this meta. So
yeah,
I bet your top laner is absolutely just drooling himself over that new rune on the PvE.
Yeah. I know that he's really excited for that. And as soon as that comes out, hopefully we're able to see some more Jax pop-offs.
And maybe his Shinshin will stop whining.
Yeah, I mean, he stopped whining as soon as they put in the E change that made it so that as soon as you press your counter strike, then it immediately blocks things. So that can stop being a meme now.
Yeah, he still whines.
Yeah, he'll still whine.
I'm kind of worried about the implications of, possibility of ADCs taking that rune too. Because, like, what's really considered in combat? Like, can Ezreal just poke?
Well, also, remember that Melee actually gets what I don't think a picture I sent Tamed talks about that is on there, that Melee champions get a refresh if they damage someone.
Yeah.
So, AD carries won't get that refresh until I believe until they leave combat. So it's very much a rune designed just for bruisers.
Yeah.
I'm just worried about the implications of a possible 60 AD burst, and then you still do get the 4 seconds of true damage. You just can't refresh the true damage.
The scary part for me on that is assassins like Talon.
Yeah, Zed Talon is gonna be spooky.
Let's say Zed, Talon, Kha'Zix, Grave. Actually, no, not Graves. Lee Sin. I just see
And then
these
the question
and it scares
is,
me.
doesn't Electrocute almost have to be buffed if they don't nerf that? Because like
Yeah.
Electrocute's not going to be good for probably anybody but like 5 different champions after this.
From what I know about the rune, it has a brief activation period in the beginning and Zed
4 seconds.
and Talon. Yeah, in which case that rune's kind of useless to champions like Zed and Talon because they're champions whose kit is built on upfront damage. So I mean, yeah, 20% true damage would be amazing on their kits if you're able to use it. But realistically, once those champions go in, their burst damage is coming out right away, not 4 seconds later. So they'll probably still prioritize Electrocute versus other champions who like to duel and much longer fights will really be liking the 20% true damage.
Oh god, we're gonna see Fiora again.
Bruiser.
What are we thinking too? Question
Fiora,
for you guys,
Kled.
since you're a lot better than me. What do you guys think about Conqueror Cho'Gath?
Oh, I'm actually not better than you. I'm silver 5.
Oh, okay. All right.
Conqueror
Well,
Cho'Gath?
like the idea of, I mean, Cho'Gath has
I
so
don't.
much
I don't
damage
like it.
front-loaded,
Like
and then-
I do
Oh.
play. I have played a lot of Cho'Gath. Like Cho'Gath is my most played champion, and I don't like it.
I'm just kind of worried about him out-dueling everybody because he's just going to stand there and be fat and just...
True
Ugh.
damage.
There's a possibility that tanks are able to abuse the new rune. I expect that Riot's going to try to take that in consideration when they're coming out with it. But I definitely think that there's going to be some tankier champions who want to take the rune top lane and be really
Darius.
successful. Yeah,
Yeah.
Darius might be a really good example of it. As far as Cho'Gath taking it, it's possible he'll be absolutely broken with it. That might need to be tuned. I don't expect that to be true, only because if you take that rune, I think that you're missing out on a lot of stats and potential rune utilization that would come from taking other trees.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's something that we're going to really know for sure until the rune comes out onto live for a couple of weeks, and then we can really see how it's really fleshed out with the numbers. But it's a possibility.
All right,
Yeah, I was
guys.
just-
Yeah, we have gotten a little bit off topic, so I apologize for that. That's all me there. So we are going to end it up. Does anybody have any closing statements, guys?
Keep an eye out for us. We inted the last 5 weeks, but we're back. And
Yeah.
I thought
Just
it was the
have to wait
dominate
for it.
team.
Huh?
That was,
INT, the dominate team.
that was the
Hey,
joke.
I mean, my team was called Feed.
yeah, we learned from the best.
All right, guys. Well, I have been Hypertension.
And I am Tame.
I'm Exius, otherwise Fox on stream.
And I'm Die Hard.
All right, guys, and we will see you next week for the final week of Champions, week 11, with Risen's Most Wanted versus Team Atinium. See you then, guys.